Hello. There we go. Timing is everything. Should we just go right over to this one? Yes, this would be much better. Hello and welcome, everybody, to the realm of Gat'Ka, live show where we are all going to play some Dungeons and Dragons. We have our guest, our guest dungeon master tonight, Jesse, who has graced us with his stories and land of Bronze Age and crazy magic as well. I don't know, it's amazing. And so so really happy to have him DM for myself and some players from the game that I run here. And so my name's Albie. I'm going to be playing Arthas Grail, the Adonin Grave Cleric. And then next over here to my side, we have Gordon. Go ahead.
Thank you. I am Gordon. I will be playing Annalise, the human Rune Knight fighter. Little niece of Uncle Art over here. Don't you worry about that.
Oh, damn it. Hate that name.
Yep.
Uncle Artie.
You'll have to live with it.
I'm Austin. I'll be playing Hanzo, the anthropomorphic fox phantom rogue. And yeah.
Right on. My name is Zach, and I will be playing the Zif Artificer, Kofu Manu. Zif are very similar to let's say kind of like lizard folk, but they're smaller. Is that a good way to put it, Jesse?
Yeah.
They take the gnome class, so if you're looking for their stats, it would be the gnome class.
Right.
Oh yeah, my fox is the goblin class.
He's a
If it matters.
They're both very
Goblin
small.
fox.
Love it.
Oh yeah, I'm
Or
always
race.
small.
Sorry, not class. That would be race.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
The
Sorry.
beard's deep, guys.
I'm always small. You're tall. Half the time, because usually you use your armor to make you taller. I'm always just fucking 4 foot tall, just like scurrying around.
Old trash
And
can,
it's really a motley crew. We have two and with relatives, with family relations here.
So
Myself
you
being
guys are both
Philip
human, right?
Gordon's
So we have
character.
2 human and 2 animon.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
2 human and 2 animon.
Mhm.
Those are the characters playing. Previous episodes of this campaign can be found on YouTube. If you search Gat'Ka or Realm of Ravengard, it should come up.
Previous
our
episode.
group. Yes, episode 1 and 2. There's 2
Oh, 2 is
episodes
that
now.
Oh yeah.
Now is episode 3 tonight. This is going to be great because we
Ooh,
took
yeah.
longer to do what we probably should have done faster, and make it so Jesse has to do more sessions, which is the plan.
That's the goal.
yes.
Anyway,
More.
Jesse,
We had
without
to sacrifice
further
from one to
ado-
get an extra episode.
As always, I'm just going to put out my little trigger warning here. There will be descriptions of graphic violence and death, and possibly some heavy content. So be warned. So with that, just to recap, last session we left the fort of Vathis after successfully taking it, storming the fort, and have ventured south in search of an artifact that you were not able to claim in Fort Vathis, but you did find leads on, and you're looking for the Orbis Strabo. This supposedly is in an ancient library somewhere along the Palato River, just south of the ancient ruins of the city of Naylor. So, without further ado, I'll just start. Annalise wanted some time alone. Annalise, you take a walk in the sacred grove that runs along the north side of the Temple of Adona. You pick your way past bushes of white-petaled oleander and weave around the trunks of crimson-tendrilled myrtle. Looking back over your shoulder, you can still catch the glimpses of the rear corner of the temple's large granite footing and the tall ionic columns that peek between the swaying branches. You press on, covering another 20 or so yards before you emerge onto the open cliffside, overlooking the sheltered bay of Iclea. Strong ocean gusts buffet the bluff, causing your hair and clothing to whip and snap about you. The breeze is pleasant. It is only mid-morning and the blazing sun is already climbing bold and hot into the sky. You raise your hand to shadow your eyes and peer up at the brilliant disk suspended in the azure blue. Donans call the sun Celos, for he is the golden carp, struggling eternally to break free from the sea and flee into the infinite black of night. But every day Martius, the Tempest King, snares the great carp in his golden net before he can escape and drags him across the sky, blessing Adona with his warmth and light. You blink away the blinding tears and look out over the turquoise waters of the bay. You miss your sister. You can't help but feel things would be easier, so much clearer, if she was still with you. You shake your head, attempting to break loose from the grief clenching in your gut and focus on the vista before you. Across the bay is Fort Nero, perched on the cliffside like a sleeping basilisk. Generations of generals and legionnaires have passed through its halls, receiving some of the finest military training in the Eastern Empire. To your right is a seawall, its narrows guarded by the titanic statues of the Vestal Virgins. To your left, you can see the mouth of the Palazzo River spilling into the bay, and the garish palace grounds of the Iclian Senate. The grandeur of the palace is somewhat diminished by the massive hippodrome that dominates the center of the city. While the city state of Exos has the greatest arena in the Eastern Empire, Iclia lays claim to the grandest racetrack. The council has pledged 2 weeks of daily races to placate the masses, hoping to distract the populace from the worries of the spreading plague and the growing rebellion. Annalise, a voice cries out from behind. Emilio emerges from the grove. His brown hair is pasted to his olive brow in little ringlets. He musters a weak smile. There you are. I've been looking all over for you. Thaddeus has sent for us. A message has arrived from Ignatius.
Really? Well, we must go see him quickly. I was trying to do something really quick while I was out, but this seems a little bit more important. Let's go.
Okay. He nods, and you head back for the grove to the temple. I'm going to take a moment here to move to the city map.
Yo, I want to race, so like we gotta figure that out. In Tomb of Annihilation, there's actually like rules to racing. It's wild. Because you can do dinosaur racing.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, there's like legit rules to it, or you can bet on it, and there's like odds and shit. Like there's like, even if you don't want to watch it, like you can just bet on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild.
So you make your way.
Beautiful.
You guys are right here, by the way. You make your way back to the Temple of Adona, climb the steps up the large granite foundation and into the halls, walking past the tall marble columns. And you're walking back towards the room where Thaddeus has provided you for your night's stay. And you spot Tulia, one of the servants for the temple. Tulia is a 7-foot-tall minotaur with a snowy white hide and small horns. Unlike many of the Animon that have migrated to the Adonan Empire, Tulia has never been to the homeland of Agaron. She was born here and has been a slave for the temple since birth. She's the one who has brought you your bedding and your meals the night before. She's waiting to escort you guys to see Thaddeus, the priest.
She's a slave?
Yeah. It's a white minotaur?
Yeah.
Ooh, like an albino? She had like red eyes too?
No, she's not albino. She has a snowy white flank.
That's tight though.
In this
yeah.
context, how would she generally be treated by most people?
She is kind of like a trophy almost. She's considered white bulls and cattle are often sacrificed at like a winter solstice and stuff like that. So she of course is not sacrificed, but she symbolically represents a holy creature, and so that's part of why she was brought to the temple.
So her role here is essentially that of like a maid or a servant?
Yeah, she basically helps take care of the temple.
Okay. Well, then I would greet her fondly. If that's not too far out of field for treating a servant
that's fine.
of that kind of renown.
She says little, but she bows her head in acknowledgement, and then with that, when you guys are all together, she leads you to the rear of the temple, and there's a flat footing, a kind of porch that looks out directly over towards the ocean. Thaddeus is waiting there, his arms in the sleeves of his vestments. As always, he's completely shaven, not even eyebrows, as all the priests of his order are. And he acknowledges you when you walk in. He says, "Good. This a message. Commander Vernon dropped off a message for you. He said he received from your contact in the north." And he hands you a little scroll, and it's tiny, so it's just big enough to fit around the leg of a messenger pigeon. And he hands it to you, Arthas Grail.
Oh, okay, we're all there together?
Yeah, you guys are all there.
To the new guy? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but he's kind of like
The new guy who
people immediately think he's in charge because he's older and he carries the vicar's
older than
staff.
all of you.
Yeah,
Okay,
and he carries
how
a
dare you.
actual staff, the vicar's staff, which is the mark of his position as a shepherd of the dead. So,
I take this little note and I'm like,
okay.
It's more my size. All right.
oh, yeah, hey, could you read this to me? No, you can't
I'm
read
just kidding. You do it. No, I'm just kidding. You do it.
All right, fine. Let me get my glasses. Hold on.
Wait, all the way back here.
I don't know if they have glasses. The most you can probably get is like a little crystal spectacle or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm holding my like
Ran real
one.
hard.
Yeah.
What does this note say?
All right. So it's short, and it's in Temple cipher. So at first glance, it appears to be a bill of sale for a shipment of grain. But of course, being familiar with the cipher, you can translate it quickly. It says, "Send report on progress. Temple leadership is eager to see the artifact secured and returned to the Holy Isle. I will be arriving shortly in Ikalia. We'll prepare ship for when you return with said item." That's all it says.
So, this is the moment where me, as a player in many of Jesse's previous in games that Jesse has run previously, realized that I think we found a note that said it was like just a thing that was like an order for some grain, and like our characters were like, we don't know what the fuck this is. It's just some order for some grain. We didn't, and now I know it's like it's just really tight. That's eye-opening. Thanks, Jesse. Thanks for that.
Should I do the Diviner's Clutch?
Yeah, really. Diviner's Clutch. Okay, cool. So I report this to the group very quietly.
Mhm.
And
So as is customary, whenever receiving a cipher from the temple, you must burn the message after you've read it.
This message will self-destruct in 3,
easy peasy.
1.
Just
Ah,
happened.
okay.
Flame.
So we just light it. I'd put it in with my incense and burn it.
Okay. So there's like a flame pyre in the back step that's used for ceremonies, and you kind of just drop it in there. So he requested a report on progress.
Who wants to write this up?
Well, we still have a place to go, but we don't exactly have anything to report other than a destination.
You can report what happened in Vathis.
Yeah,
No, we're
tell
reading-
him
we're
the
reading-
name.
Just would have already.
The messenger
Okay.
is Ignatius, the one who met you outside the gates of
Yeah,
Vathis.
I already
after
know
the-
about all that.
He's still
Oh,
here.
so-
Yeah,
Okay,
he's aware of that. He's basically just saying, hey, like, leadership is breathing down my neck. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt like some bureaucracy going on.
Yeah.
Here. Hurry up.
Hmm.
Well, real quick, just for me, how much do we know about the orb exactly? Just that it's a relic and we need it?
So basically from the documents you were able to recover from the tower when you took Vathis, and the documents taken from the Telazani sorcerer, that it's supposedly south of this Naylor Temple. So this stuff you've already gone over with Ignatius. So you don't really have that much.
Right,
to
but
tell
about the
him.
orb itself, other than just...
Right.
It heals illnesses and prevents old age.
Right.
Okay.
And the legend supposedly goes that there was this ancient healer. He was so renowned and so knowledgeable that Martius, the Tempest King, the patriarch of the gods, actually requested him and like brought him to the foot of the very Tempest throne, his giant throne at the center of a whirlpool in the middle of the ocean, and made him like expound on his knowledge. And he was so impressed that he had a temple built specifically for Strabo, this sage, and his 3 beautiful daughters, and he gave him this orb that is supposedly, fends off the warrings of age and can heal almost any ailment.
Gotcha. So we know a fair bit about it. Not necessarily need to do any more research on it, other than maybe the ruins that are out there.
Right.
I'm not saying this out loud. We may need to stop by a library, or Zach, they're muted, or stop.
We
by
don't have a way to pinpoint the ruins, do we? We know a general area.
I'd say we
Yeah,
know
you
about 100
don't
miles.
you don't have like exact location.
If I recall correctly, the Adonan like myths or legends and history didn't even like account for this. Like the thing
So-
that we found of it was a Telazani translation of it, right?
Yeah.
So
So
I'm gonna throw my researcher background feat in the chat. If this is helpful at all for us to find the information that we're looking for, if I can make some type of check to do something, or if this would help us find the information that we seek.
mhm. Yeah, I think we tried to use this last time. It's not going to really apply here in terms of
Cool.
giving you a specific location. You kind of have to go off what you know so far, which is it's supposedly somewhere just south of the ruins of Naylor along the river.
Maybe instead of about the ruins themselves, can we get an idea of the local like fauna and flora of what's going on there to try to get a heads up of what we might run into?
Yeah, you might be able to have some inroads. There is there's a library in town. You could try and check that, and see if you get some information. The temple itself doesn't have anybody who's really knowledge in that specific area. But you do kind of get the impression that the message is saying, basically like, hey, report back to me. I'm getting a lot of pressure here. I need to give updates and let them know we're on top of it.
So we can let them know that we have a
Tell 'em the
location
name
and that
of
we're
the
headed there
sorcerer.
now. Or that.
Tell him, tell him the
Uncle,
name
if
of
you
the
want to
sorcerer.
draw up
Lock him
paperwork
on.
for this.
Yeah, so tell him the name of the sorcerer. Bakanamen is the name of the person who came to the fort. Like, give them the report, right? So I'll like, with Annalise, we basically have some stenographer take into account everything and.
So you
you talk all right. We've done this routine before.
Right. So you write it yourselves because you have to write it in cipher. So what it appears to be is a confirmation. When you write it, it's a confirmation of this bill of sale of grain. Basically, you're saying, oh yes, this looks correct. Thank you for your business or in working with me. Blah blah blah. Of course, trained eye can easily see the code cipher in it, explaining basically like, hey, we're on it. We're working on it. We'll let you know more when we have more information. And this is the Bakanamen is this foreign agent that but in as far as you know, last time you saw him, he was falling from the temple spire, so he has been dealt with.
Right, but we didn't see a body necessarily.
I'm sorry, from the fourth spire, not the temple spire.
Right, but after the fight, we didn't see or find a body of his, right? As far as
right, did not recover a body.
Right.
So, but you can assume he's probably dead.
Most likely.
We're just telling him the name. That was the person who was there.
Right.
He is assumed dead after falling out of a tower, and we have a lead on the next place, or our next, or our destination rather.
Right. So with that, Thaddeus takes the you've basically have to roll up this little tiny message. You have to make it really kind of direct and to the point. And he takes it down the temple, and a short way down the hillside, you come to there's another priest there, and he's basically he deals with the messenger bird Roost. And what this is it's like a cylindrical building that's probably like 30 feet tall, and it's just has riddled with these little holes all around it. And what they are is little bird nests, roosts, and each one's marked with a different location in the Eastern Empire. And these are each pigeons that have already been each pigeon can only go to one destination. It has memorized, and he kind of goes around, and then he comes and finds this one, brings it down, binds the message to it, and lets it go, and it just takes off north.
Perception check to see where he sent it to in the Empire.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Come on. Is it working? It's not rolling.
So we said we were going to take a boat from here and go.
Rolled a 5.
So Vernon has told you that he doesn't have any resources to spare in the city with everything going on. Commander Vernon said that there is a boatman out the western road along the river that named Daigo, who is owes him a favor and should be able to help you. Right. So, Arthas, when you watch the priest bring that pigeon, you can see the hole where he pulls it from, the roost in the cylindrical kind of pillar. It is marked with the name Vathis on it. So it appears to be heading north towards back towards Fort Vathis.
Oh wait, okay. That was from Ignatius, or was that?
That was from Ignatius. Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense then.
Him,
okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That makes sense then. Okay, cool.
We're reporting to him.
Okay, with that, is there anything you guys want to do in town? Questions about town?
Yeah, real quick. On our way out of the temple, do we see some old crotchety woman leaning over a barrel with some weird dice that she rolls in front of us?
So yes, as you're walking down the hillside away from the temple, you do see an elderly woman and she's begging. And actually, one of the priests outside the temple of Litho, the blind guidesman of the dead, is actually giving her a piece of bread as you come up. And she's
there we go. I put down a piece of gold.
So we're in the temple district, right?
right.
There we go.
Yep.
Just zoomed in on it for the.
Mm-hmm. And
I'll put a gold in front of her and say, "For your services."
and she kind of looks up, cocking her head, and her you can see she's blind, and she has the fulcrum etched in her forehead, as all the sightless does, the fulcrum of fate. And she says, "Thank you for your offering. Let's see what the fulcrum of fate has for you." And she rolls her clutch.
I'm gonna get the eyes of the beast.
I heard it. I could hear it from over there when it hit the fucking counter.
Oh, and I got me. You can see my
Yeah, you get
brand
any
new
box?
dice rolling tray. Let's see if we can do
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Cool.
That's a nice one.
Can you guys see that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see what we got here.
Got the coin again. Nice.
Yeah,
You guys
you
get the token of Numina.
I don't. Okay, good. I don't know who we are though.
Let's see. We have Hanzo, Annalise. I'm sorry, Hanzo. Yeah, Annalise, Grail, and
The eyes.
Kofu. So,
Workstone.
Grail, you have disadvantage on your first perception check.
Ah, I already rolled it.
Well, you get another one. Next one.
Another one,
Okay.
yeah.
Hanzo, the eyes of the beast is upon you, but you also get the Stone of Hammurad. You can choose one weapon in the group that is magical for the
Hematite?
purpose of
You got
perception.
that last time too.
Yeah, I got the last
Use your
time.
sword.
Yeah, I was putting my katana. What was the other thing though? Eyes of what?
Eyes of the beast.
What's that one again?
Target priority.
Oh, I thought it was eyes of death or something.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It's really, yeah.
The eyes look like they're facing that way. Like whenever I look at it, I thought they were facing Arthur or Arthas.
Arthur.
It's facing you.
Walmart.
Oh no, for sure. No, I just like me looking at it, like I thought it was facing Arthas. Sweet.
It also deals with proximity. So, no eyes of death on anyone. You have the Darkstone on Elise. At a time of my choosing, you will get disadvantage on a
Roll.
ghost.
So I'm sorry. There's the eyes of death and the eyes of the beast. Remind me of the beast one, just target priority, but doesn't mean that they're gonna try to just
Right.
Yeah,
keep killing
death
you.
is coup de grace.
Yeah, eyes of death means I don't pad you at all. I mean, it basically reinforces that death is very possible, as always,
Okay.
but more so.
The eyes of the beast, yeah, it's just that a lot of people just go after you.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean once you're down, they're gonna stomp you out.
yeah. Exactly. The eyes of death can be turned into an advantage in the right situation. So,
All right.
Royal has the Key of Misfortune.
What did that do? You.
All right,
Why do I have the Key of Misfortune?
What does the key do?
because that's the way the touch went, and then I think that's it.
Is that just the perception check thing?
I'm sorry.
No, misfortune means I think I can lose something.
Yes.
And the eyes of death.
Oh, right.
No eyes of death on anyone. And I dropped the
I
eyes
had
of death.
the,
I'll find out later.
I had the disadvantage on a perception check.
I do also want to stop at either a general store or like a blacksmith on our way out of town.
And yeah,
Okay. So any blacksmith, which
While they're doing that, real quick, do you think I'd be able to find those kids that took the Tinker toy, the Clockwork toy? I'd like to see if I could fix it before we leave for them, just so they could play with it a little longer.
Last time you saw that was down in at the general store of Tindaris, who you bartered with.
So I'll meet them. I'll meet them at the exit. But if I can find those kids playing with the Tinker Toy, I'd like to fix it for them.
Okay. So, are you guys going to make an agreement to meet at the gate at a certain time, like the Eastern Gate or something?
What time is it right
We could
now?
all just stick together and do
Probably
it.
about 10 a.m.
Yeah, me and Anna are gonna
at
go.
noon.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
is the hey Jesse? Let me ask you: is the store are the places they want to go in the same area of the city?
So no. So right here is Tindaris. He's near the docks here. This is the general store. If you want a, there's no blacksmith because mostly it's bronze, so it's a smelter. You would have to go to the Marshall District, which would be across the Union Gates, across the Plateau River, and
Let me
near.
tell you what I want, and then maybe you can tell me where it might be better found. I'm just looking for a pickaxe. I lost mine on the boat, and I want another one.
Yeah, probably. I mean, Tindaris might actually have that. He might have that. He's got some general goods and equipment.
Yeah, I'm looking for
Go to Tindaris.
studded leather armor.
Studded leather armor. That would be in the Marshall District.
So when we
it's
get close to Tindaris, closer to his shop, I'm actually going to send out Dracorpian to help me find the kids. So if they're nearby, I'll have help on a perception check. When I'm looking for them anywhere.
Okay. Let's go ahead and roll that perception check.
Cool.
It's going to be a DC 13.
Cool. We don't find them.
Okay. Kids are nowhere to be seen.
Can I look-
You kind of know because you weren't there. You don't know who you're looking for.
Damn.
I'm not too worried about it. I was just honestly looking for something to tinker with.
Right.
So
you kind of went there, not really fully expecting to see them, but you figured, hey, while we're passing through here, let's take a look. You do kind of cause a little bit of a ruckus with your homunculus. Some people don't even seem to notice that it's a construct. They kind of, people just think it's like a weird big bug, and they kind of like almost try and swat it.
Oh yeah, what does it look
fly
like?
around.
I'm sorry. Did I miss that?
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Did I miss? What does it look like specifically?
So his name is Dracorpian, or its name is Dracorpian. It's a dragonfly scorpion hybrid.
Right.
It's
That's the thing you've been making, right?
yeah. So I've been trying to find its heart. I've been working on it, but now that I have a heart, something that can make it work magically. It's flying around. It obeys my commands. It understands my commands, and it can shoot a little like dart of magic if I ask it to, and it's basically like it can do like what Mage Hand does, but it's a little tiny dragonfly scorpion. So it's
How
got
big is
little pincers.
Nope.
It's probably a
Origin.
little bit bigger than the palm of your hand. Let's say that. So it's bigger than a dragonfly, but it's not huge. But yeah, so it's got pincers. It's got a scorpion tail, dragonfly wings.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna follow Annalise.
So Annalise, you can ask Tindaris. He is there. If he has a pick.
Yeah. Do you have a spare pickaxe? I could pick up. We took a spill during the raid, and I need to grab another one.
He kind of seems like a little puzzled by like this raid thing, but he's just kind of like, okay, yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, so I think I have something here, and he pulls out a bronze pickaxe. It doesn't have, it's just the head. He doesn't have the stick, so he kind of like looks around, and he like just pulls like a shaft off a gardening tool basically, and like sticks it in there and like knocks it into place. And how much does that cost? Let's see.
I found 2 gold pieces.
2 gold pieces. He says
Yeah.
3 gold pieces.
Oh damn.
3 gold. Really?
No. That
Come on.
sounds a bit overpriced, don't you think?
Yeah, these hard times. With not many, not much goods are coming into town. It's, demand. He's high.
Not
Can I
much
walk
good
in
coming
with
to
good
town,
timing and
but
be
for
like, $10, old friend?
Yes. As if Kofu. Kofu, that's right.
Yes,
It's
yes.
good to see you. I'm always happy to see you back in the shop.
I take out Dracorpion and I show him I've improved upon my most recent experiment. Thank you so much for your help. And I show him the small opal that's implanted in the dragonfly, and I say, thanks to you, my creation works.
Excellent, excellent. Yes, yes. Erdin is a good friend of mine, the jeweler. He was very happy with the arrangement we made. I'm always happy to be of service. Thank you so much.
2 gold.
Well,
And I'm holding out 2 gold.
I'm sorry, it is 3 gold. You can make a
2 gold and 1 silver. No, 5 silver.
make-
1 silver
You can make a persuasion check. I'm sorry.
Okay.
with advantage because we're all helping.
Yes. I like it's like they're talking
on,
and then I just like interject. I'll roll it alone. Persuasion.
Let's be DC 10.
Oh, I rolled an
Oh,
natural.
come on.
Son of a bitch.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's
I take the gold back. Fine. Say there are
Uncle,
other
it's fine.
places we could buy a pickaxe, Anna.
3 gold is fine.
I'm sure you are, but not for 3 gold pieces.
I'm putting 3 gold
Well,
on the
fine.
table. Uncle, go wait outside.
No, I have a request.
Of course.
Lars, do you have any ginger candies?
Ginger candies.
There we go.
Yes, of course. I have ginger candies made straight from the Donanaya. But that is these here. These come from the Dozen Mountains, just to the up north, for the southern rim.
Very. And how many for say? These are rations. I'm hoping. 10. 5 rations. How much is it for 5 rations? We don't have rations. I think I need to buy rations.
I have
Hungry in
some.
my old age.
I've got 3.
Got
Yeah,
3?
I'm gonna attempt to buy 2 more rations then.
Okay.
However much two rations worth of ginger candies.
I got 6.
Good call.
I got a lot.
I only have 3 right now. Oh yeah, I'll buy some more too. While we're at it.
I just don't have any more money. I spent every single gold piece that I
You
had.
should try these ginger candies. They're very good.
I've got a little bit left. I'm curious about getting another water skin if I can.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna look up and see how much rations are. What does that cost?
Oh wait, hold on. Let me look.
Yeah, I feel like I'm looking up in a book.
It's
D&D
our
Beyond called the water skin 2 silver pieces.
I don't ration 1 day, 5 silver pieces. Oh hell yeah. Okay, so I buy
10 for 1 gold.
yes.
It's
Then
he
probably
says-
just inflated.
he says I
they
can.
weigh 10 pounds.
We do have rations. It will be 2 gold for that much.
Yeah, that's fine. I give him 2 gold and I grab that bag of ginger candies and I just chow down. Just
Okay. He throws in the ginger candy.
I want 5 rations. How much are 5 rations?
Sounds like
Uh,
8 gold.
Yeah, I think that's 8 gold. But in this case, let's see. Water skin is normally. Oh, it doesn't have the
2
price.
silver pieces. Yeah, I found 2 silver pieces.
So basically, everything is 200% of the normal price.
Yeah, I mean, I'd
Yeah,
happily
it's
pay 8
inflated.
gold for a water skin if it
Okay.
normally costs 2 silver.
Everything or just here?
Everything in his shop.
Because like it's like remember there's a rebellion and a plague. Like nobody's even shipping stuff in. Like times is hard. So
Yeah,
these fools gotta make
I'm
big
happy
money.
paying an inflated price. That's fine.
Yeah, as long as I got them ginger candies.
All right.
Good to go.
Yeah. So he has the water skin for it's 4 silver pieces. It looks like.
Call it a gold.
Okay. He's stoked by that. He sees you pull out the gold and just give it to him. He's like, huh, now you're just being boastful. But hey, I love it. Hey,
Money
anytime.
is money. There are other things that hold much greater value.
Yes, white words. Yes, I agree. But have to feed the children. So this is my earthly requirements here. Did everybody get what they need?
No,
I mean, I
I
got
wanna
my
check
two
around.
rations.
just out of leathers.
Okay, yeah. He says, I'm sorry, I do not carry that. You'll have to pass through the Union Gates to the Marshall District to get those.
Thank you.
All right. I
All
guess
right.
it's good for a morning walk. Let's
Yeah.
get a move on.
So you head westward through town. You are here right now, but Tyndaros gives you some directions to the Union Gates, and so what that does is it actually takes you past the Senate Palace, and between you run between the palace and the arena. Annalise, it's not nearly as big as the Grand Arena in Exos, which is supposedly the grandest in the Eastern Empire.
Grand Agora.
But it is a still impressive arena, and you can hear from the noise that there are exhibitions in progress. As you look to your right, you can see the gates to the palace. It is lush with gardens and marble temples, high dome temples. When Iclea became a part of the Adonan Empire, it got rid of its monarchy and became a quote-unquote democracy. It's ruled by a senate. And any citizen can vote, but a large population of the city is either slaves or from outside of town. They, of course, can't vote.
A citizen.
Right.
So they can vote as well, or no?
Citizens.
Slaves can't.
Not slaves.
Okay.
People who are born outside the city can't. You continue on west until you run into the broad side of the Hippodrome, and now you can really hear the roar of the crowd. Obviously, the races are underway. This is where chariots are raced. And the chariots often represent districts of the city. So by color, usually there's green, red, blue, and white. And they each are represented and often funded by different districts or wealthy patrons in different districts. There's the Temple District, the Citizens District, the Marshall District, and then there's the outliers. The white chariot represents the people of the countryside. It is usually not the winner, and it is often a deadly affair. It's not. It's pretty normal for the chariots to crash into each other, or even intentionally harm each other in a bid to win the race. You pass on past the Hippodrome and continue towards the Union Gates. These are also.
As we're walking by it, Annalise kind of smiles, remembering back when she was just a little girl and her uncle took her to see her first chariot race, and how he remarked, we went to go see a fight, but they started racing chariots.
Oftentimes, those are one and the same.
Exactly, Uncle. That's the joke.
Oh,
Kofu's actually
sorry.
really
I'm
interested
distracted.
by the Hippodrome. Like, it's just any form of technology, like seeing them race this stuff and seeing how well it holds together when they're crashing together. And this is all very new to Kofu when it comes to large cities like this. So his eyes are wide.
Yeah.
Dracorpion is like crawling in between his fingers and around his hand, but he is just fascinated by what's going on around him for sure.
Yeah, being a learned, scholar, you were immediately taken by not the phenomena of the Hippodrome, but more by the actual structure itself, just the engineering it must have taken to build such a structure and these structures. That's immediately taken back, like the amount of manpower and materials and the skilled labor needed to build this place. Compared to where cities you see in Agron, which are in comparison kind of crude and simple, you're pretty impressed by what you see here. You can see that there are regular fountains where people can gather water from. There's obviously some kind of sewer system here used to get rid of rain excess and sewage. You're pretty impressed. You guys continue on west.
Let me ask something. Is Amelia with us?
Amelia's with you. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
You're along for the
And
ride.
Are you, Jesse? Are you moving the map?
I did. I messed that up.
So this whole
Um,
time, by the
It's like-
way, Hanzo is kind of staying, not necessarily directly with the group, but kind of just staying. I don't say sneaking through town, but like go between legs and stuff, just making his way through, trying to seem inconspicuous in a new city.
And stealthy.
Always.
So you're going. It's kind of hard to be inconspicuous when you're a little fox guy in a human settlement. People definitely, you can see like some eyebrows raised, but you're not the only Animon there. You here and there you can see Animon. Many of them obviously are in bondage. Others, they actually do look like there's actually some freeborn Animon here, possibly refugees that have resettled. You see there is a few gnolls that are walking around, probably ex-mercenaries or mercenaries employed with the Empire. You see there is an actual, you notice that most of the slaves are often herbivores, so minotaurs and things like that. You see
So
an elk.
when I guess I didn't realize Amelia was with us the whole time right here. When we're passing the arena, can I ask roleplay a little bit here on have you ever fought in the arena, boy?
As a boy, I thought I would grow up to be a gladiator. My mother said it's foolish, but a boy does dream.
Well, you still might have your chance.
That's true. Having my experience with the Temple Militant, I've realized the world is an arena. Every
Yes.
day will challenge you.
Indeed. And there are many challenges up ahead.
I am sure you're right. Hopefully, we come out the victors in these battles.
Then that means we must be able to trust each other. And I put out my hand, like we're walking, but I'm like still walking alongside and put my hand out for him to grab, and I say, "Do you trust us? Can we trust you?"
Of course. And he takes you by the forearm and he says, "So you're Aurelia's uncle." And you can see a little bit of a flash of grief kind of go over his face. And he says, she spoke of you. I was impressed by her words. And Annalise, you kind of noticed that when he you didn't realize that Amelia was right there, and you kind of all of a sudden it makes you realize Amelia has been kind of following you, sticking by your side wherever you go.
I think
and
she's noticed, just decided not to say anything about it. It's like, well,
Okay.
that's not weird.
Let him walk up ahead and catch up with Annalise, and I think he feels the sense of duty, perhaps the same sense that we all feel for our loss of Aurelia.
Well, life does tend to go on. Wounds are still fresh. Well,
Yes.
we'll see how it develops from here.
Indeed. It's a nice pickaxe you got. Would you like a ginger
Thanks.
candy?
Uncle, you know the answer is always yes.
Okay, here you go. I give her one. I also take one.
So you guys-
chocolate ginger candy.
So you guys make your way around the northern edge of the Hippodrome into what's Pilato Square, and then what's the Union Gates, also called the Gates of War. It is customary whenever the Iclian Guard march out to join the legions that they or go to war, they pass through the Union Gates and are also known as the Gates of War. You can see statues mounted above the gate of Martius, and he looks like he's about to hurl his. He carries the harpoon in his right hand and the golden net in his left, and he looks like he's about to hurl it down on some unfortunate victim. Now, in passing through the town here, the buildings are pretty upper middle class, what you would consider wealthy compared to most people. This is the citizens district. There's a extreme sense of pride among the citizens as being, members of the. Supposedly, most of them trace their lineage all the way back to the original founding of the city, and in fact, they have to prove this when they do cast their vote for Senate representatives. And from there, you cross the Union Gates, and what you have here is basically the gates have been raised up, so it's high above the river, so that small ships can pass underneath. And there's actually each gate has a drawbridge, so that when they're lowered, they meet in the middle. But allows the gates to be raised, and when there's a possibility of a siege or such. You cross the bridge and move into the Marshall District. You notice an immediate change in the environment. These buildings are a little bit more utilitarian. Of course, there's a lot of domestic places, but there's lots of shops. And as you pass, you can tell these are lots of business industries and businesses associated with war and the legions and getting all the raw materials and equipment necessary to support an army. You pass down towards the Fort Nero itself, and someone does give you some. You do find a shop there that Tindaris recommended. It is. There's an actual Psy man, so he's one of the not. His name is Brunning, and it's just called Brunning's Place, and he's a smelter. But he also deals in making weapons and armor for. Sorry.
Sorry. Go ahead.
He does make equipment basically to equip the legions. So it's right on the main square in front of Fort Nero. Looking across the square, you can see the actual fortress on the bluff there, rising and overshadowing the square. Also, just south of you is the fortress docks, a separate docks used specifically for the military ships and stuff like that. Also on the square is the academy. This is actually where officers are sent from around the Eastern Empire to learn logistics and strategic training. Because this is one of the more northern city-states, in many campaigns head north up to Agaron and even beyond. This has become a major center for military training and amassing troops. So you head into the small shop. Brunning is a small, wiry man, probably in his 50s, and he's currently hammering and polishing what looks like a breastplate. And he kind of looks up at you and he just gives you a little nod. He says, "How can I help you?"
Hello, sir.
Hello.
I'm looking to get something similar to what I'm wearing now, only better. Do you have
Okay.
something like this?
Well, I
As I motion to my leather armor.
can't say I've ever fitted a fox before.
Fewer materials, lower price. Am I right?
I wish. More customization. Let's see. You said studded armor, huh? Well,
You don't make armor for Animon, or you some kind of racist?
customer's a customer.
I'm
No,
chuckling, and behind the Grail is just chuckling. Nice try.
I don't know. I've made army for some of your similar folk, mercenaries for the army. Let's see. And he comes back with it's called a lenothorax. So it's actually not leather, but it's linen. So it's made from layers of linen that have been sewn together, multiple layers, and then it's been studded with has a portion of kind of bronze scales on it. He says it's not quite studded leather, but it'll do the same job.
Same job, same stealthiness. Still keep me quiet.
Mhm.
All right. How much would this one be?
Let's see, how much is leather studded?
45.
45. He kind of looks at you and he goes, it'll be 50.
50. For something I didn't ask for.
This is what I got.
Deal.
Can you sell him what you have?
That's what I was about to say. Can I then sell you? Are you interested in a set of leather armors?
And would you like a ginger candy?
I stay away from the sweets. Sorry.
Good call.
The delicious. Oh, fine.
Did you say good call? He says, I'm not really in the business of buying armor. I'm more of a selling guy.
I'll give you this set of leather armor, worn by the Wolf of Vathis. They call me now.
Okay.
5 gold.
No thanks. Wolf of Vathis or not.
You're gonna regret this. You're gonna hear my name and out of that man's armor.
I'm already regretting this. But you gonna buy it or
45 you said?
50?
All right.
55. Wait, that's not how this works.
I put 50 gold. 50 gold in like a handful on the counter. So, all right. And as I pull my hand away, I'm gonna try to steal 5 of my gold back.
Oh my god.
You're gonna have to do a sleight of hand. Let's see.
I'm gonna distract him with more ginger candies.
It's a DC 10.
Are you sure you don't want one?
23.
23. All right.
Wow.
You
You're Zach. You muted.
you get your 5 gold back. He
Doesn't know.
yeah. You kind of do those things where you put up the 50, and then while he's looking away, you kind of like.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys might even see this. I just kind of back in my pocket. 5.
Okay.
One on my finger still.
You're actually so smooth that no one else in the party sees it either. So.
Oh yeah.
Damn. I have pretty good perception. I feel like I would have seen it.
23. Do you have a 23 passive?
Not passive 23, no.
All right.
Yeah, I want to put it on. I'll probably put it on when I leave in case he counts as gold.
Okay.
I put it on in the alley, strip naked.
So you kind of duck in the alley, and Emilio's kind of like, "Where's it going?" And then you go in there and come in. He's like, "Oh, okay."
Thank you kindly.
He's like,
Sweet.
he leans in. He's like, "You're all furry under there, right? It's not like you're bald or something, right?"
Wouldn't you like to know? Doesn't wiggle it out.
I don't think. I don't
I'd rather
think he
not,
would.
actually. Thank you.
Yeah, actually,
I hope he
neither,
doesn't
neither
get
would
maimed.
I.
All right. Any other errands you guys want to make?
We feel
I'm good.
satisfied with our shopping trip.
Okay.
Does anyone else in town want some leather armor?
I mean, you could
Just
try.
walk around. Leather armor.
I guess you could
for
try.
sale.
For your child?
So
Child-sized?
people are kind of like passing, and again, you're in a part of town where they sell armor both in places and stuff like that. So it's kind of you're in a seller's market around here, or a buyer's market, I guess. So no one seems really interested in buying a child-sized cuirass off
Fine.
Upper Fox.
Spit in the ground and walk away.
Consarn it,
Piece of shit town.
tarnation.
Yes, it's ravaged by a plague and a rebellion. So yes, it's not doing very well at all.
All right, with that, you guys cross back over the Union Gates to the Gates of War, to Plateau Square, and head to the Western Gate here. As you approach the gate, you can see there's a kind of a little bit of commotion going on.
We're at the waterfront.
I'm sorry?
We're at the waterfront now.
No, you're heading towards the exit of the city.
Yeah, we're at the
Oh
waterfront.
yeah, you passed the waterfront, the river waterfront, and still this is the city. It's considered part of the citizen district. So these are pretty nice buildings. They have a pretty consistent style throughout the city, where they terracotta tiled roofs and white plastered buildings, and seeing good repair. You come to the Western Gate, and there seems to be a bit of commotion going on. You guys can do a perception check for me.
Passive ain't good enough.
Terrible.
I'm gonna. Can I say that Dracorpian's helping me on this perception check? Because he'd be with me. Cool.
I'm not going to give you advantage. I'm going to give you a plus.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to give you a +2. Okay.
18. And my little fox friend, the
Okay, as you're approaching the gate, Austin, you got a 24, I believe, right?
24.
Okay, so Austin, or Hanzo, you're kind of fitting your armor. It's like you're still adjusting it a little bit, and it's kind of weird because it's a Donan style armor. So it's like this. Alenothorax is like this. It's sleeveless. It has these straps that go up over the shoulders, and it comes down, and then it has like these almost like a kilt part of the separated leather straps.
Samurai.
More like a hoplite.
Change it.
You're wearing someone's skirt.
Um,
He just took a skirt off of
and,
a normal set of armor.
His previous one kind of looked like that anyway. Like he had the little
Mhm.
samurai-ish.
I mean, you still have your short baggy trousers and stuff like that on. So, as they're doing it, you look around and you spot this guy kind of like staring at you. He's like, he looks like he's like purchasing like what looks like some roasted walnuts from the stand, but he's kind of like looking at you on the side, and he gives this kind of, and you almost feel like you feel like you've seen him before. But he kind of sees that you're looking at him, and then he kind of like snaps back to the walnuts, and then like quickly like greets this guy, and then like heads off and like walks down an alley.
Oh, what? Wait, who was he looking at?
Only
Who
Hanzo
caught
saw that.
I had an 18.
Hanzo sees it first. Albie, you see it second.
Grail. Got it. Cool. All right. So I look over at Hanzo and I'm like, "Did you see that?"
You look familiar. you know who he was?
I was talking about the walnuts, but yes, I think so. Those roasted walnuts. I'm gonna go get in line. You go check out the
Uncle,
alley.
don't you have enough snacks?
No, never enough snacks. And I go and get in line for some
You
walnuts,
go and
roasted
get in.
walnuts. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, I just tell the rest. I tell the rest of the crew, yeah, like, I think we're being watched.
As soon as he says that we're being watched, I'm gonna go ahead and don my armor. So I go from small to medium sized, and my entire body is covered in armor.
Says,
I'm gonna go ahead and leave my helmet off for now. But
You don't need to worry. You don't worry so much yet.
When you guys are,
No
you
distress.
guys are basically standing in the middle of the road, and there's
I'm
like,
in line for getting walnuts.
okay, you're in the
walnuts.
walnuts, and you're getting walnuts, and the guy who's the hawker who's selling walnuts is like give me a thing, and all of a sudden he like looks past you, and his eyes are going wide, and you can see he's looking right at Kofu, and he just saw Kofu like grow and like get this armor case, and he's kind of like.
Okay,
He's just
so
gonna
like I
take
move
like-
my head in front of like which way he's looking. I'm like, excuse me, over here, and I snap a couple times. And I'm
he's like, yeah, and he kind of just hands you the walnuts, and like,
yes, no, yeah, thank you, but no, I have a question for you.
oh, what can I do for you?
There was a man that you just gave some walnuts to just a few moments ago. Did you see him? Did you? Do you
yes,
know who I'm speaking of?
I think so.
I think that he stole a couple extra walnuts. He ran off into an alleyway just around the corner here.
I don't think he stole anything.
You didn't see that? Two other people saw that. I'm gonna make a deception check.
Okay. The DC 10.
Oh, it was a 16. I rolled a
He
3.
goes, no, and he like pulls out the coin. He says, no, he paid me.
Okay. Do you know him personally?
I can't say I know him.
Oh.
I've never seen him before. It's today.
Good.
Insight.
Okay.
No, I'm not there. I'm not
for
there.
real. Insight check for real.
Okay.
I keep having to pull my character sheet up because it's not working on my other computer.
Jesse, you said this isn't the disturbance you were talking about. There's something else going on.
There's also something going on at the gate itself. You can see the guards are talking to this kind of older gentleman, and there's like this line of pretty depressed looking, looks like probably villagers. They're all their clothes are torn up and soiled, and they're looking pretty haggard. And this guy's arguing with the guards at the gate.
All right, so I rolled
Back to this.
rolled an insight check of 16.
Okay. I mean, from what you can tell, this he seems to be telling the truth. Now, I'm going to say from just so you guys know now on, when you guys roll something like an insight check, I'm going to actually roll the dice for you. You can tell me your bonuses.
That's fair. Okay.
The idea being is if you roll a 20, you kind of can meta easily off of that, right? If you roll, right? So I'm actually going to roll that for you.
Okay, so then the 16 isn't.
But the 16 stands. That's good. And you're pretty sure he seems to be telling the
All
truth.
right, well, I'd pay him, 1 silver piece for however many walnuts that gets me.
Okay, they don't even cost a silver piece, so he's just like, okay, hey,
Yeah,
have more
fine. Okay, cool.
questions.
So I'll
Come
just take
over
my-
anytime. I'll
I tell him, I say to him, if that guy comes back here, just to keep his, to keep his eyes on him. Try to get his name next time. And then walks away.
He's like, you pay another silver for walnuts next time? I'll let you know anything.
Yes. All right. I eat a walnut.
All right. You're starting to get a little full. Like, you're eating these candies, these walnuts.
Oh.
So you guys approach the gates, and yeah, you can see the guards are arguing with this this gentleman, the guards in there. They're kind of like the gentleman's obviously kind of leading this train of what looks like refugees, and the guards are not really letting him in. And you can see the man. He's like, those prices are exorbitant. When does it ever cost so much to enter the town? These people need help.
Oh shit.
Is there a normal toll to enter the town? Is that normal?
No, the problem is the town's already got too many mouths to feed, and it's already a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not uncommon for people to be taxed based on trade. So like depending on how much you're bringing in, you pay a certain amount of tax on the goods coming in for the gate. Rarely is there actually in most cases for to charge just to enter. But the guard was saying basically exactly what you said, Arthas. Sorry, we have the town is already full capacity. You can stay in the refugee camp outside, but we are not allowing entry. We have been told that for them, as many people as you have, you can enter for 20 gold, but the stay cannot last indefinitely. And Brunning's like, 20 gold? That's a king's ransom. So you can just kind of ignore it, move on,
You
or
see what's going on there, Anna. You see these people.
I do. I
they're
see
in
the
need.
Empire at work.
Yes. The problem is they're both poor. On both sides, do you see? The guards holding the gate and the refugees. They're in the same situation.
Uncle, you don't have to explain to me the system. We've both been living in it long enough to know that it's not good or bad on either side.
Yes, but what do you
People
want to
being
do
people.
about it?
Can I try to? Is there like a collection pot?
I mean, the guards. You can assume the guards are storing the gold somewhere.
Can
Are
I
you
see if
trying
they're
to-
spraying it on the person? Like if they have them like in a coin purse?
What if we outrank
Um,
them?
Do a perception check for me. It's a DC 16.
You can't
Full
order
rank.
everything into existence.
I know.
All right, 25.
Yet.
So while they're doing it, you can see there's a guards on the other side of the gate across from these ones, and he's taking actual tax for the trickle of goods that are coming in. And when he takes the money, he kind of goes into this little guard house, and you see he puts it like this little chest. That's just like in this little tiny guard house right next to the gate.
What peoples, if I can discern this, do these refugees look like?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Like what people are they? Adonan refugees? Are they Junes?
Well, this would be like they're countryside people, and what these are ethnically they're Asai. So what they are is they're actually the Asai are probably what you consider the native people of this region originally in terms of culturally, ethnically they've been here for longer
Right,
than
yeah, because they were the kingdom that fell. That's right. So,
Right.
but they're
But
looked
they are
down upon.
also
generally.
considered to be kind of lower class peasants.
Well, I go into the history lesson with Annalise, like talking about the Asai kingdom and how it fell and blah blah blah, and then we go over. I'm gonna go over at least to the guards, actually to the guy Brenner, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Brenner is the old man
trying to bargain.
leading the villagers.
Right. I look at him and I say, I go walk over and I tell the guards to hold on a moment and I guess flash my rank.
Okay. So they see your vicar's cane, and they kind of like, of course, anything Temple Militant, he always has jurisdiction here. So
While you're talking, he's gonna. Yeah, Hans is going to that gold. By the way.
Okay.
So
you're gonna have to make.
I'm gonna give the guard a ginger candy just because he needs to take one from my hand.
Okay.
So he knows that I'm real. I'm being for real. I'm like, here, hold on, chew this for a moment, and then I talk to Brenner, this man, and I give Brenner the walnuts.
Okay, so you give Brenner your roasted walnuts, and you give the guard this candy. And he kind of just puts it in his hand like he doesn't know what you're giving him, and you just put this little ginger candy in his. He's like, okay, and he's just standing there with his palm open, with like this, and he doesn't really know what to do. He's just kind of like, okay.
I said, chew on this for a minute, and then I go and.
He's like,
okay.
And he's like,
perfect.
It's good, strong, it's good.
Oh, perfect. So I go talk to this guy Brenner. Like,
okay.
How far have you traveled to get here?
A village is not far from the walls here, but the rebels are sacking and burning all the settlements close to the city. They call us loyalists. We have no choice but to leave our fields and houses and come here for refuge.
And how old is this man?
He's probably actually similar in age to you, probably in his 50s.
Okay. I ask him, I understand these are trying times. Have you ever been up the Pilado River, east? Towards, the ruins of Naylor. Have you ever been from this to that area, or do you know anyone from or anything about it?
A few times in my life, I've gone up the river, but I've steered clear of Naylor. I've always been warned about that place.
Yes, your culture is quite old, and well, without going into much detail, and I get really close, I say, my friends and I are compatriots, I guess, and I are looking for something up there, and we need someone who's familiar with the location. Are you, or do you know anyone that is?
I don't know anyone specifically per se, but there is a small at the end. But when the road meets the river, there's a small settlement there. Many of the boatmen stay there and help with the commerce up and down the river. I'm sure you could find someone there. And he says, "Forgive me, but I must look to my people. I must find some safe refuge for them."
Yes, well, I was hoping that maybe if you could help us find what we are looking for, perhaps we could see what's going on with these villages being burned.
Any assistance would always be appreciated. I'm sorry, most of the people I know have either fallen to the plague or fled from the rebellion. I don't know anyone by name that's still on the river.
I tell them these soldiers aren't going to let you in for no reason. They've already told you no.
Oh, they'll let me in if I have the gold. They want 20 gold for this train of poor souls. We don't have
It's quite expensive. I spent all my gold. I would offer some, but I spent it all on walnuts and ginger candy.
Oh. I see.
I only had like 5 gold, so...
I appreciate your sentiment. I know these are hard times.
Yeah.
All right, I look back over to the guards.
At the same time.
Yeah. That's going to be a DC 14 sneak. You're going to sneak in there.
I'm going to turn around to the guards and be like, these people, they aren't bad, but...
17.
All right, so while they're talking, you're actually able to like slip into the guardhouse, and
That's about right off, by the way.
you can see that chest there, And the fools, they haven't even locked it. It's just like been latched, basically. Probably out of convenience because they keep going in and out.
Yeah, I check it out.
Okay, you open it up. There's a pile of you can actually see that the inside chest has been separated, and it's actually separated by copper, silver, and gold. There's it looks like a pile of, you can't tell how much, but there's a good amount there.
I'm gonna take all of it.
You take all of it?
Just
Okay.
I take all of it.
So, like, you're gonna actually have to pour it into a bag or something like that.
I have a bag on
Really
me.
heavy, I think, right?
yeah, that's a lot.
Okay.
I don't know how much it's gonna be.
Okay, you pour it in. I'm gonna have you make another stealth check for this. It's gonna be a DC 12.
The
Look at
baby,
that little
look at
speed
the
racer.
little baby.
He's going fast in his car.
Oh,
11. Fuck.
So as you pour it into your bag, coins start hitting the edges and clacking all over the place, and then you hear the guard goes, "What's that?"
Oh no!
Someone help me. Someone do something.
Alright, so
Yeah.
I'm just making a big commotion. I mean, I have no idea he's in the guard tower. I'm talking to the guard, and I'm still trying to. I'm saying the man here doesn't have the gold that you ask for. Obviously,
I was gonna steal it just to give it to
the
them.
city. Yeah, right. I know. Obviously, the town can't, the city can't sustain more people coming in. So we will do you a favor as we are leaving. Less mouths to feed.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to the guard captain. I'm like,
And you're
these
saying you're
people
gonna
in
do what?
because we're going, because we're leaving.
Oh,
We're no longer going to be taking their, their services, so they should be able to let however many of us. There's that same number of people should be allowed in.
the guards are like, "Hi, we are always set to see the temple militant leaving. We always need good your wisdom and martial strength in the town. But people come in and out constantly. This must be 40 people here.
We'll let 5 of them in one day at a time. On different days. No,
I'm sorry, I have my orders. You can make a persuasion check.
Yeah. I'm going to look at the man Brenner and I'm just tell him that if he needs gold, perhaps they can offer himself them and their services to the guard, right? Maybe they can join in and try to help in fighting the rebellion, if any of them are able to.
Okay.
Join the military or go to
Brenner,
the temple.
Brenner says, "We're not fighters. We're farmers.
They all gotta learn someday.
I'm hoping not to." He says, "I've tried reasoning with them. They won't budge."
Yes.
Hanzo, you're gonna have to make a hide check for me. So this is another stealth check. This is a DC 15.
Oh my god. If you get caught with gold and copper.
Muted again, Zach. Are there just coins all over the floor?
19.
19. So you basically you
Under a table or something.
countertop and you slide under this countertop where the thing is and
On the roof.
hide behind this crate, and as a guard comes in, he sees the gold all over the floor, and he looks at the chest and he opens up the chest real quick, and he goes, "Fires of Furos," and he turns around and just runs out and he's like, "Thief! Thief! Someone's been stealing the gold."
I feel like we're in Assassin's Creed right now.
Went that way.
You're able to slip out just after he runs out. So, and you got through your bag, you're holding it close. It's like chink, 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 chink.
Still not letting these refugees.
Been a waddling.
Actually, fuck it. Give me the 20 gold. I'll do it. Slip it in my hand. I'm just
Yeah, I was
holding
gonna
my
go-
hand out.
Well, we figure how much of it, or how much.
So,
we get.
you look at the bag.
It's their gold. We're giving it back to them.
Right? No, 100% we are. I'm trying to
So,
figure out how much. Extra.
Arthas, you have no idea that he's stolen the gold.
Oh, you're right.
because-
I have no idea.
Right.
Sorry.
You could look in the bag and you make a quick guesstimate. You probably have 30 pieces of silver, maybe 35 pieces of gold and a whole bunch of coppers.
Whole bunch of copper.
Oh,
Put
like,
on your
yeah,
sheet.
2 groups got in today. Wasn't a big group yet.
Are you just gonna give him the 20?
Yeah, I would definitely. Yeah, I would go up to them, and as soon as you hear, Thief!
You're like Brenner is like bidding you goodbye and kind of like, hey, you can just like do the job, and like you have your hands open, and then Hanzo just kind of plots this like handful of gold in your hand, and is like, here you go.
shirt stuffed with gold, it's falling out.
Just falling out.
And Brenner's like immediately sees what's going on. He's like, oh, thank you. And you hand it to the guard, and the guard, it's like the other guard's like running up, just like, we've been robbed. And he's like, oh, fires of Furos. I'm going to lose my rank for this. And he says, well, at least we got 20 gold here. You can put that in the toll box.
This one looks familiar.
And
I want to put it back in the box. I'm just kidding.
and
Go get it again. Not
they
really.
start letting in. They let in the refugees. You guys all get +1 renown with the people of Iclia.
Nice.
Oh damn.
So make a note on your papers. +1 renown, people of Iclia.
The common people.
Yeah.
Now,
Now we got one
Are
of
you-
the
are you-
guards and the
People
people.
of Iclian commoners. That's a good one.
even though they were Asai people.
Yeah. And Brenner's overjoyed, and they start letting him in, and the people are all thanking you. As you kind of go out the gates and are passing these refugees, you can look out and see there's like a makeshift camp that is been made alongside the walls there, and it's kind of like you can see guards are guarding it, and it's just like this kind of bits of shacks and like peasants, and it looks pretty deplorable. And this is where you see your first sick person. The guards are keeping them kind of away at a distance, but you can see this person, and they just look like they're wasting away, but their stomach's kind of like swelling with like a gas or something like that. Like they have this distended belly.
I pull my mask out.
And you can even see one's like vomiting some distance away, and this is kind of like an area where they've just been like people have been who can't get into the city are being kind of forced to stay. And as you're passing this line of refugees that just got in, and they're like thanking you, one woman. A woman stops, reaches out and brushes Annalise brushes the edge of your sleeve, and when you turn to her, she's immediately, it's like, oh, forgive me, I'm so sorry. I appreciate your blessing. The light of the gods fallen you are in your wake. She's holding a dirty smudged toddler on her hip. Her hair is covered in a threadbare scarf. I mean, her skirt is torn and soiled. Her eyes are dark and sunken and dart about nervously. She kind of says, please, when you venture out, mind the hinterlands. Mind the hinterlands, Holy One. The rebels are out for blood. They've been pillaging the villages near the city walls. They say we are loyalists and deserve our fate. We are no better than them. The famine affects us all, and the plague knows no creed. Every day, more of us perish from the rot, and the others. They're not lost. They're not lost. They're just waiting for the fog. And then Brenner kind of grabs, Brenner, the old man, kind of grabs his like, come on, Mitra, enough of that. And then he kind of like shoos her away into the town.
I'll stop her. I was like, no, it's okay. It's okay. I'll lean down to the little kid and say, you guys are safe now. It'll be okay. I'll hand the kid one piece of gold here. Go on.
Damn.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right, they head into this town, and you guys, you're kind of left a little puzzled by her words, a little cryptic, but you guys move on, and
Yeah, I'll share that with the group that we should watch out for the hinterlands. You said it was. That seems to be
yeah,
where most of the activity is.
basically the countryside.
Yeah.
And she said, or every day more of us precious plague, and she says, they're not lost.
The others
aren't lost.
I say, well, that sounds ominous. But we, lucky you all, we have a shepherd with us. And Grail kind of like smiles, and he's like, nope, not worth it. All right, let's keep going. He like tried to be happy for a second, and then he's like, nah. He goes back
All
to
right.
eating
Go in
it.
your couch, you old
You-
bastard. Let's go.
You head off down the road, and then this main gate is actually lined with tombs. The more wealthy and affluent tombs are closest to the road, and then you have the more meager and humble ones back. It is customary in a lot of the city-states for people to put their tombs along the main approach to the city so that people can pay their respects, and also for the more affluent people to show their honor and their affluence by the grandiose sepulchres they leave. The road is bordered by lines of slender cypress trees and thick-trunked oak. You march past mile after mile of unharvested barley fields. It's too late now. The crop has gone to seed. The sound of the dry stalks rattle against each other in the wind. The sound is haunting. Like, we've actually moved you down here, so we don't have this. Here we go. You march past mile after mile of unharvested barley fields. It's too late now. The crop has gone to seed. The sound of the dry stalks rattling against each other in the wind. It's haunting, like the threadbare whispers of dry-tongued ghosts foretelling famine and death. After you pass your 12th milestone, the road winds through a copse of poplar trees. Ahead, beyond the shadows of the grove, you see the golden light of late afternoon illuminating yet another broad field of unshorn barley. A half-dozen black-winged crows perch squawking on a rickety fence. They take the air in a flurry as you approach. It's then that the smell hits you. Your spine stiffens reflexively, and your hands drift toward your weapon at your side. The smell of death is in the air. Breaking free from the tree line, a grisly scene unfolds before you. Just beyond the fence, a wide swath of field has been flattened, the golden stalks darkened by congealed blood and mortal ichor. In the center of the clearing stands a pile of blackened corpses and twisted limbs as tall as a man. It's a smell that you never forget, the stench of burnt bodies. The sound of buzzing flies fill your ears. You stand there staring. You each seem afraid to break the silence. So you basically come across this part of the field that's just been flattened and all the burned corpses there.
Did you say the corpses were as high as a tree?
Said the pile stands as high as a man. Tall as
okay.
man is tall.
Yeah, there's a lot of bodies.
So I unfazed by the sight, look down at Hanzo. I look at him and I ask him, "How long do you suppose it's been since they died?"
Hanzo, make a perception check for me.
25.
You can say that this is new. This has not been more than a day since it occurred. Furthermore,
I found him.
you kind of duck underneath the fence post and kind of like take a few gingerly steps into this corpse field, and you can immediately tell that these people, these weren't dead and collected and burned. These people were killed and then burned. You can still see the markings on some of the corpses from the spear wounds.
Hmm.
So yeah, these people were killed within the day. I started immediately looking for footprints, anything that may distinguish who could have done this.
Give me a
Do the bodies
DC.
have any-
Give me a DC 13 survival check.
And do the bodies have any identifying marks? Are they more peasants, soldiers?
Yeah, these guys look like villagers.
12,
What did I say? What was the DC I said?
15, I think.
You roll the tape. Okay, you can't immediately see any sign of who did this.
I would like to use an ability.
Okay.
It's called Eyes of the Grave. First level, you gain the ability to occasionally sense the presence of the undead, whose existence is an insult to the natural cycle of life. As an action, you can open your awareness, magically detect undead until the end of your next turn, blah blah blah, within 60 feet. Any undead within 60 feet that isn't behind total cover and isn't protected from divination magic. Interesting. Doesn't tell me anything about the capabilities or anything. I'm just curious, do I detect any undead? It's like the first time, like basically I walk out and I see all these corpses and I just want to make sure like none of them are getting back up. And I imagine what he does is I brandish the cane, like I actually like pick it up and like, and it like sets out like a shockwave and I just close my eyes and like.
Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, you kind of just close your eyes and then you kind of start whispering a chant under your breath, and in your mind's eye you can see the flame of Lithos kind of descending and disappearing into the darkness, and you can hear and you feel into the Black River, and you don't feel any undead, but you do get that presence of spirits having passed. So there's no undead, but the feeling of these, of these passing souls is palpable to you.
So I say to the group, we're alone for now. So it's
someone else give me a perception check. Someone who hasn't rolled yet or used a power.
Or yeah.
Let's try.
Okay. Nice. Do you have a negative?
Get up on a hill.
Do you have a negative
yes.
perception?
Yes, I do.
So, Annalise, you're kind of like just standing there, staring at this bodies, and then you hear this rustling in the overgrown barley just outside this flattened ring.
Having some war flashbacks. Apparently, seeing all these bodies isn't terribly good, since this is probably the first time we've seen death since we left Iclia, I think. I mean, other than some goblins, but those weren't entirely humanoid. So yeah. How far away is the sound from me? You said it was somewhat behind me.
Yeah, it's probably like 15 feet behind you.
Damn.
All right, I'll just shout out, Uncle, and kind of turn around and not get closer. Just look from behind my shields and throw a rock over at it.
You're throwing a rock, you said?
Yeah. Shout out to the group in general, and just kind of slowly bend down and pick up a rock off the ground and huck it into the bush.
Yeah, if Hanzo heard this, he would just immediately pull out the sword and just ready. Like,
okay, the rustling has gone. has kind of gone suddenly quiet.
I'm sorry. I had to disconnect and reconnect. I missed like the whole thing.
Okay.
There was some rustling in a bush. I threw a rock at it,
Okay, cool.
and I shouted your name.
TLDR. Ah, I'm back. So okay. Rustling in a bush.
And then you're saying it was just you just said it died down.
Yeah, when you threw the rock, it kind of just stopped. The movement stopped.
Hanzo's sword is drawn, ready to go.
Okay.
I'll just slowly approach.
Okay. So you slowly approach, and you don't detect any movement.
no, Anna, come back.
Probably just a rabbit or something.
Well, then let us test. And I take out one of the walnuts. Oh no, I gave all the walnuts away. I have another ginger candy. Just gonna throw in ginger candies, and I throw it out just near the bush, but in our view.
No movement.
No piece of candy? Damn. All right. Then I say aloud, ooh-wee. Let me actually pull up my character sheet here, because I think I have something I want to do.
Thaumaturgy?
Can I make an action? I can do an action here, right?
Yeah, you can do an action.
I'm going to start. I'm going to whip out the book and start a prayer from the book, and I'm going to cast Aid on my 3 companions.
Okay.
And so
and
I
continue.
I pull out the book and I just start speaking, and I'm like, reciting some cool ass shit, like to all this empty dead body, like graveyard area, and just everyone hears me speaking, and they just start, they gain Aid. They start glowing a little bit.
Was it plus 5 HP? Is that what it is?
8 hours. Yeah. So your hit point max increases by 5 for the duration, which is 8 hours.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
And I can choose up to
pretty
3
good.
creatures. So not myself, but the 3 of you.
That's great.
So even as you do this, there's still no movement from the tall grass. Yeah.
I'll climb up the body mountain.
You.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to continue
Roost
slowly
also.
walking forward to what I heard.
The dead bodies is nothing to me.
Okay. Yeah. So you start climbing up them, and you're climbing halfway up, and then you hear a voice, and it says, "Stop it! Get off them!" And a young boy stands up in the grass. His face is smudged with soot. He's got a dirty brown tunic. His hair is short, close to the scalp, and he's looking directly at you, and his jaws clenched, and his hands are fists at his side. Just get off them!
Whoa.
Oh, you poor thing.
Somebody give him the
Not here to
ginger.
hurt you.
Away. After I'm just like,
Yeah, I'll slide back down.
Okay.
I mean, no disrespect. You thought we were in danger out here. What's your name?
The boy is kind of stands there, and he's just looking at the pile, and he drags the back of his hand across his nose. He says, "Doesn't matter. I'm dead now, and can't
Right.
feel anything."
This kid will make a fine shepherd one day. No, I walk over to him, and I finish my prayer, and I kneel down, and I take the kid's hand in mine, and I say,
He looks at you warily. Says,
"Is he? What kind of? Can I tell what he is? Is he a Sai or is he a Don?"
You can't really tell.
Okay, so I
He's
say to
definitely
him,
a peasant of some sort.
say,
Says, "My
"When
name."
all may seem lost, now is the time to be strong, little boy.
Who did this?
Are your parents over there?"
My mother is.
You're wrong. She's already left. What
Yes,
lays
there-
over there is just a body.
He nods. His father went to the city, left us. He's supposed to go meet him. Soldiers came. Supposed to help us, protect us from the rebels. But when they saw that we were sick, some of us were sick, they became frightened. They said they were taking us to a safe place. They brought us here. They killed everyone. Then they just
How old is
piled the
little boy?
bodies. How old?
Yeah.
So you said?
Yeah, how old?
It's probably 11, 12.
What was your father's name?
Alston.
I was gonna say, if he says Brenner, I swear to God. Olston?
Alston.
Okay. And he left you here.
Yes, he said he was going to the city. He was going to try and get us a place to stay in town. We were supposed to follow. He left us here. Now Mother's dead.
And you're all alone, hiding in this high grass.
How far outside Italy are we right now? By
12
hours
miles.
travel.
12
12
miles.
miles.
Somewhere
I
around
pick
there.
up the ginger candy by the grass, and I give it to him. I'm like, take this. It will help with the rot, the smell of rot everywhere.
You put it in his hand. He kind of just holds it loosely, but he doesn't eat it.
I know you're not hungry. I share with him. I also lost somebody once, and it never gets easier. But you still have a long life, little boy.
I don't know if anyone has long lives these days.
Look at me. I'm quite old, aren't I? And then I try to make myself.
Looks up and then he goes, "You are old."
Thanks. So, you're saying soldiers did this?
Yes.
The Empire, Donan soldiers.
They had black armor and blue crested helms. I know the
I know
Ictlian
that
Guard
would
would
be
beat them.
the Ictlian Guard. Yep. And what have you seen of the sick?
Says most of them die within a few days after they get sick. They vomit a lot. But the others, some of them just go dumb, stare out stop seeing everything around them. They don't hear the name anymore. They barely eat or drink, and then they just disappear. One night they're staring just at nothing, and then they get up and walk away. We call them lost. They're the lost.
Well, then you are lucky that we have found you. Stick with me, and perhaps if we are able to make it back, we will find your father, and you can choose how to punish or not punish him, and I will be your enforcer.
Emilio kind of walks up and he grabs you with the arm and pulls you away a little bit. He's like, "We can't keep this boy. We have a mission. There's no place for a child."
You're right. So what do you say we do with him? Leave him here? Emilio, what if this was you? Would you want me to leave you here? You little shit.
I know it's a hard decision, but are we helping him by taking him with us?
No, of course not. I propose sending him back the 12 miles to the gate with a few gold coins.
I'm not going back. The boy says, "Father left me. I'm never going to the city."
Then I look at him and I say, Shit, I don't even know what to say to him at this point. I'm gonna just look at him cold.
Then I'll kind of jump in and say, then boy, it's time to start doing some growing up. You've witnessed death. You need to go back and make something of yourself. Now, real quick, what time of day is it? Is it getting dark?
think it's
It's
like
probably, yeah, you're in the late afternoon now.
Okay.
So
You can stay with us at our camp until the morning, but after that, you're going back. Whether it's to your dad at this point, that's up to you. But it's not safe out here.
kind of looks
We'll
around.
we'll send you off in the morning.
He just kind of like doesn't say anything.
I ask him his mother's name.
Yes,
Because you said Oswald was the dad's name, right?
Wolston.
Bolston? Okay, I'm getting it all wrong.
Wolston.
You gotta write it down.
WOLSTO.
Woolston.
Oh, Wolf. Okay, got it. Walton. What's the mom's name?
His mother, his mother's name is Atria.
Atria.
Mother's name was Atria.
Your
Beautiful
mother
name.
would want you to stay out here.
Indeed.
She would want you to be safe.
Her name will be in my prayers.
Mother's dead. Doesn't matter what she wants.
Your mother's dead, but not gone.
Also, her soul has
You'll
to be
have live with
ferried.
that.
It's
Plus,
all
if you
very
want-
complicated. I know you're an 11-year-old boy, but
Hey man, 11-year-olds are a lot smarter than people give them credit for.
well, now they are.
That's when like most people start coming online, I'd think.
Yeah, they had the internet though. It's different. These kids don't have
Yeah.
that.
If you don't want to follow in your mother's footsteps, you should get to the city. It's not safe out here.
He kind of
Look,
just
Emilio, he's not even that much shorter than Hanzo over there. Look, the kid is about as tall as Hanzo. You say we can't keep we're keeping Hanzo. Kid can use a blade.
I'm a grown ass man.
Give the boy a dagger.
maybe in a few more years, but he has no training. And I hate to say it, but you'd be the burden. Distract us.
Emilio, he's staying the night.
Yes, we're probably going to have to.
He
set
looks
up
like
a
he's
camp
about to
somewhere.
argue, and then he kind of. Okay.
I mean, it looks pretty creepy out. I don't think we should
Well, no,
set
we're
up
gonna go
camp
find a
just by all
place.
the dead
Yeah, we're gonna
bodies.
find somewhere far away from here.
Kinda hard to
Hopefully,
see.
either at the top or at the bottom of a hill with some cover.
Okay, so you guys continue down the road. The boys kind of just walking silently beside you guys. It's more overgrown fields, going fallow. You do pass a village. It looks like it's been burned. The boy stares at it as you guys walk by, but he says nothing. It's starting to the sun is starting to get low on the horizon. It's painting the landscape in its warm glow of the fading light, and you meander through some low hills, and you can hear the river flowing. And you come to a small group of buildings huddled together against the bank. And as
Like a
you
village?
approach, it's not quite a village. It's maybe like,
The hamlet.
yeah, tiny little hamlet kind of.
Houses.
And as you approach, kind of like you can see this one of these larger buildings right against the bank, and you hear a commotion going on, and inside this building, and it sounds like a woman's voice is like, "That's the last time. That's the last time. I'm never coming back. You're worthless piece of shit." And you hear like some shit break, like, and you hear, "Damn woman, that's the good crockery." And and she's like, "I'll show you what to do with the crockery." And then the door busts open, and this kind of round-hipped woman, and she has like a scarf pulled around her head and a blouse, and she's just a storm cloud of a face, and she's just angry, in a rage, and she like busts the door open, and then immediately it's like, "Oh, forgive me. And she like curtsies and then just kind of like cuts off. And then this kind of heavy set man, dark hair and a beard. He has like a vest and breeches. Comes to the door and he's holding this broken jug and he's like, if you come back, you better bring me a new jug. And then he kind of notices that you're there, and you can see this kind of rosy flush in his cheeks. Looks like he's maybe been drinking a little bit. He's like, whoa. Temple Militant. Oh, here. You can tell that bastard Vernon I'm going to pay his debts. Okay? I'm going to pay the debts. Don't worry. I'm good for it.
Elbow Art in the side real quick.
We will. If you care to pay early, that's fine too. Question mark.
I don't have the gold now. I told Vernon. You know. I know I've had a few tastes of the law. A little drunk and disorderly. But I'll pay the debts. I don't have the money now.
I recall Vernon is the Ithiclean guard captain that...
Yeah, he's the commander. Vernon's the one... Yeah.
So I say to him, well, then you're lucky. We are here for 2 reasons.
Oh?
Yes. 1 was to collect, but 2 is to ask questions. Are you prepared to answer them?
Of course. I'm upstanding citizen of the Eastern Empire.
Yes,
Always.
but can you take care of a young boy, around 11 years old?
Boy,
I was thinking the same thing, dude. I'm like, you always gotta leave this kid here.
Boy, I've never had kids.
Well,
never
it's maybe your lady friend is onto something.
Oh, no.
You are a no good piece.
He'd make a phenomenal apprentice.
No.
Yes.
He just witnessed his entire family and village get murdered.
Yeah.
He needs
Clearly,
to
this
be
is the
hero.
start of an average hero.
Feel a little sobriety go into this gentleman, and he goes, "Oh,
It's the easiest place to go.
bad business that. A lot of that been going around."
Yes. So
And then
you
he
see,
kind
if
of
you don't
he looks at the
have
boy.
pay to... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
He looks at the boy and kind of bends down, puts his hands. And says, "Well, what say you, boy? Think you can be a boatman?" And
This is where you say yes, little boy.
It's this or to try to find your dad, Niglia.
Erkin, the boy, kind of like says, "Do you have a boat?" And the gentleman goes, "Do you have a boat? I have the fastest boat on the Plateau River. Ha! Every town along the plateau has heard of Daigo. Practically famous."
Isn't it funny? We are looking for one such person named Daigo. For a 3rd reason.
Oh yes, that's right.
Well, also, your boat.
You want my boat?
No, we want
No.
you in your boat. We want your expertise.
Oh,
He
of course,
requests your services.
of course. Always happy to accommodate the soldiers of the Empire. You know, all this bad business going on. Well, how far are you going?
Well, hopefully to Naylor, or somewhere near.
Naylor. Oh, yes, we could go. I can set you in the bank there. But you know, it's risky business these days, being out in the river or the road. It's a little bit expensive these days. It's 20 gold.
No, you don't see. You owe us money.
How much is your debt?
Oh, I see. Okay.
How much do
Vernon,
you owe Commander Vernon?
Well, I owe Vernon probably 40 gold. Roll
You don't owe him 40 gold. Insight check.
Insight check.
Roll
Inside
insight
check.
check.
No, you roll the
Actually,
insight
I'm
check. You
gonna
say
roll
I'm
insight
rolling.
check.
So roll it for all of us, because we're all thinking liar.
I have a
This
plus
motherfucker's
4.
lying.
I have a plus 4.
Bonus.
He doubled it. We all know. 3 of us are insight checking this motherfucker.
That's the highest.
I have a
Insight.
plus 4.
Definitely,
I have a plus
definitely
4.
Austin, I think. Oh, really, Albie?
Wisdom
What do you
is
have?
my thing.
Plus
It was
4?
weird.
Plus 5?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Plus 5 with advantage. Oops. Yeah, this guy's full of shit.
Okay. So I grab him by the scruff and bring him in real close, real
Yeah.
fucking grim. I bring him in close. I say, "You listen here, you little piece of shit," as
Yeah.
the lady called him too.
I
I say,
call there for piece of shit.
"Yeah, well, I say, you're lucky that the Iclian Guard aren't here on your doorstep, and that it is us, and we're willing to discuss."
This is lucky, eh?
Yes.
All right. Hey,
Yes,
you
because you see my friend over there, and I point to Hanzo, can probably turn you into shepherd's pie in a few moments.
I love shepherd pie, but I don't want to be one.
Yes, exactly. Neither do I. So,
So, I hope you and the debts are taken care of.
I will say this.
How much of the debts?
You help us after we get back. And you have to take the boy and teach him how to be a boatman, mind you. That's included in the deal. We will
One step at a time. I'll give you a pass.
discuss with him.
Give you a passage to Nero. Boy, how are you manning a tiller? Erkin seems to have lost a little bit of his grief, just kind of hearing about the boat. He says, I can steer a boat. Oh, he's sure of himself, is he? All right, boy. We'll make a sail out of you.
Certainly headstrong.
Good.
If anything,
would
it's
make
an
a good
extra pair.
sailor.
It's an extra pair of hands.
Yes. I suppose you want to be a little short notice. You guys
morning
want
would
this
be
fun, I can tell. Well, yeah, we'll need you all to work if we're not going to spend time getting some boys together for the crew. All right. You stay in my place in the meantime. He opens the door, and there's just like a shit sty of a house with like broken crockery and shit all over the place. And
I'll stay outside.
suit yourself. But I recommend coming inside. It's not safe out these days. But like I said, suit yourself. And he's like,
Just gonna
"Who
stand
wants to greet?"
watch. I'm gonna take our first watch, is what he's doing. So he's just gonna stand outside, and he's just gonna kind of keep his perception out for anything just weird about.
I'll take first watch with you.
The woman, just woman screaming.
Yeah, I want to
Just
make
on
sure
my
that woman
burning
comes
down
back
house.
with a jug, because now he's helping us, so I'm kind of his protection too. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, just gonna.
Or she doesn't come back and like burn down the house that we're sleeping in because she's pissed off at this guy. Doesn't know we're in there.
Yeah, right. We're not trying to get in the middle of a feud.
So you guys your guard, and he kind of like sweeps off some places. It's not really like a bed or anything. Like it's a pretty modest little place. It's not really got a real floor. It's got like a packed earth floor with some straw thrown across it. There's this little small table and like a small cupboard. And he kind of immediately goes like digging through his stuff, kind of throwing stuff around and pulls out a jug. He's like, ah, it's my spare. He comes out, he's like, who wants a drink?
Do I hear him say that? Are we all still in the same area? Because I definitely.
We all went in.
Yeah.
You're
You
on.
want-
I'm just kicking it outside.
I could always use a drink.
That the fox wants a drink.
I've yet to define myself.
I will be right back.
Never had a drink with the fox before.
And what about
That one time, but that might have been the alcohol. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. And he pours you a clay cup full of wine, and you take a sip, and immediately it's unwatered, which is considered very uncultured. Necretians and Dons always water their wine, but this is just straight pure, and it's not like our kind of wine. This stuff's strong. This is good, like 15-20%. You feel it almost immediately, but he's just kind of kicking this thing back. He's just going for it. Pretty soon he's acting like you guys are like old buddies of his. He's telling you about his kind of like going up and down the river. He's in his 40s, and he's been doing this his whole life. He's just going up and down the river, doing supplies and stuff like that. Supposedly he's got the finest boat, and he's the best boatman the river's ever been seen on the river. And he says, "Oh, you're going to Nero, huh?
Some ruins just south of Nero are on the Pilato. Have you seen any ruins like that?"
He's like, "You're going to the Palace of the Suicide King on the cliff."
You've heard of
Are
it.
those the ruins out there?
What?
He's like, "Yeah, this road called it. It's that. It's on the cliffside. It's you can see it from the river. But I never heard of him actually getting up there. We call it the Suicide King Palace because who else would build a palace or a structure on the edge of a cliff like that?"
Someone who loves a view.
Or somebody who's trying to. Well, I'm outside.
Well,
Get rid of bodies
someone
really
who
easily.
knows specifically about ruins. Have I ever heard of anything like that?
no, you've never heard anything like that.
This is more just a colloquial term.
You've heard name there, yeah, but this seems like a more colloquial thing.
Mm-hmm. But
And he said,
like palace is described as being built on cliff sides by notable figures.
No, not this one.
Line up with descriptions.
He seems to be thinking of it like describing more like a landmark, like a local landmark on the river. He
I
says,
know it's a little early to ask, but do you know of a way up to this castle? Like if we were to get in another bank, and do you know any ways up other than just straight up cliffside?
well, no. Few people tried to scale the cliff, but I don't think they got more than halfway up. Poor souls.
That's what I'm scared of.
Yeah, same. Falling to my death is probably my biggest fear.
That wouldn't happen. We wouldn't fall to our death. I can prevent that.
Really?
It's good to know.
he kind of Daigo comes like, "Ooh, you guys you got the magic, eh?"
I wouldn't not necessarily just magic, but magic, and then my hand turns into a small cannon. And I say technology.
He's kind of in gulp of his. He spits like this wine across his table. It's like, gods. All right, I believe anything now. And you kind of sitting at the table. Erkin, the boy, has somehow managed to get a goblet of wine, and he's kind of lifting it up to his mouth. He's like,
Yes.
"There's a road at the back. My father took me past it when we were herding sheep.
Wait, what?
There's a road up the back of the hill, the mountain."
Do you know how to get to that road?
Yeah, like I gotta walk inside at this point because my character
From the river? You can always be standing in the doorway,
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm just kind of like
Opening up
listening but watching, right? And I'm sorry, what? You've been there.
Yes, we called it the Old King's Road. Thought it was Old the Side King's Road. But I never went up it myself, but Father said it went all the way to the top of the summit of the mountain.
Is there a way there from the river?
Yeah, I believe there's the road starts at the base of the mountain. It's somewhat hidden back from the water line, but I can find it. I know I can remember.
This is where I lean over to Annalise. I say, as much as I hate trusting an 11-year-old boy as our navigator, I remember an 11-year-old Aurelia able to directly repeat routes that soldiers would take. I mean, their memory is uncanny. It is possible this boy actually knows a way around.
So you're making good use of yourself yet. And I throw him. I take one of my kunai, like daggers, and just throw it at the ground next to him. You can keep that.
He's like,
Are you giving him a dagger? Nice.
That's buried in this goblet of wine, and he grabs it, and his eyes go big. Oh, thank you.
Says, be careful, you might need it out here with us. We don't have the best luck.
What's the kid's name?
Like, he kind of swells a little bit, and he's like, I can defend myself.
What's the kid's name?
Erkin, E-R-C-O-N.
E-R-C-O-N, Erkin?
Mhm.
Okay, and his mom was Atria. Make Atria proud, young Erkin.
With that, he kind of like deflates a little bit. He's like, yeah, make mom proud. Daigo kind of detecting like the sour note, kind of is like, more rounds, boy, more rounds. And he's just like filling everyone's cup again, and he goes on and he's so I suppose you guys have heard the legend of Nero then, right?
Why don't you enchant us with your storytelling?
Oh yeah, I will.
Before that, I kind of pull out my pipe as well.
It's like,
Everyone's kind of like almost like Gandalf like pipe.
yeah, like a little clay pipe or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, do you mind?
Oh no, go away. Go ahead. By all means. The smell might improve the place.
Yeah, put some incense out.
Like, well, I'm sure you probably heard Nero was once an Asai city, much older than in many of the places around here. Of course, after its fell, the Cretians did try to build their own city on top of it. Didn't end that well. A giant came down more than a century ago and destroyed the place, drove everyone out. Donans gave up the idea of occupying that place after. Of course, that's how the Donans tell it. Of course, you ask a Sai. Legends go much farther back. Nalor was once a great trade mecca in this region before the Cretians and the Donans came. You mean looking at our modest establishments? He kind of beckons to his shambled house. He says, "We are peasants now, but we descended from great kings at one time. They said the Emperor of Asai stretched from here all the way across the great steppes. Of course, they knew great magics and prayed to elder gods. They said they prayed to a great dark one. Well, paid homage and respect, at least. They called her the Pain Eater, the great goddess Medawa. She gained a sustenance of pure suffering. She demanded sacrifices. But the kings were so powerful, so learned, they became a little headstrong. And they stopped minding her and making their sacrifices. Medawa pledged vengeance. The kings said they would meet her in battle, but they knew they couldn't do it alone, so they called on their allies. They called on the giants. Kings of the Sai made ready trade with giants back then. So when time came to meet Medawa on the battlefield, well, the spirits of men failed, and they abandoned their giant allies on the field. Medawa, clearly seeing her advantage, beat them readily, but she did not extinguish them. No, that pain would be too quick. She was a goddess of suffering, after all, and she would save her every moment. She cursed them, poisoning their line. The giants were grand and beautiful people, but she cursed them, twisting them, changing them. You can see the remnants still, if you're unfortunate enough to find them. The Cyclope, the Fomorians, twisted beings, still feeling the pain of her dark curse. Giants, the Fomorians that were left, swore vengeance on the humans that abandoned them on the battlefield. So when Nayla was abandoned, the Donans attempted to rebuild. The giants descended from the mountains and destroyed it. They pledged that the city would never stand again, in memory of the great betrayal. But that's just a yawn, right? People do talk. Stories do turn over the ages. Anyways, it's getting late. I'm going to turn in. That Dagon stands away from the table, goes to it's like a little bed on the ground, and just kind of kicks his feet up and, just kind of immediately passes out.
That whole conversation, Annalise is just kind of leaning on her shield, just kind of rubbing the runic symbol that is going across in the giant's tongue, just kind of contemplating and staring off into nothing, just kind of muttering, maybe what's dead isn't so gone. And then kind of
watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grail takes first watch.
Kofu as well.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna sit.
Yeah.
Okay, so I stand in the doorway. Basically, is it raining or is it? It's what's the weather like? No, it's nice weather. Mediterranean.
Good.
Okay, cool. So we're just kicking it out there. The mosquitoes are getting us.
Yeah, I've got Draco, crawling between my fingers, and I reach my arm out, and I just say, keep an eye out, and let him free, and he kind of just flies up, and he'll if he sees anything, he'll come let us know. His passive perception, just so you know, is 14. So.
Okay. All right. So me,
Jesse.
Second.
Go ahead.
And then who's after Emilio?
For watch, I'll take watch after that, I guess.
All right. And then I need one more, I think.
I'll take the last one.
What about Emilio?
He took second watch. Okay. So
So I'm out there talking with Kofu, and he and I are just shooting the shit. He said he lets that dragonfly thing go out, and now Jesse just internal thing for me. The Vickers cane, it does have some sort of clockwork technology in it, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Right. I think we decided that was true. So I kind of hold it out and show Kofu, and I say, apparently you know a thing or two about building and upgrading, and clearly that is the case. Whoever made this, these are not just simply a cane, there's something to it. And I kind of hold it down for him to see that there's a weight to it, that something's inside. When I if he whips it, if you fling it out, you can feel a cylinder or a ball or something in one side go fling to the end and then lock in place. And I say, can you improve on this?
Can I inspect it?
Yeah. Give me a let's see, an intelligence check. Let's see, it'd be investigation.
Okay, so with Artificer's Lore, I'd be able to double my proficiency bonus with this roll.
Actually, arcane.
So Arcana? Okay,
Arcana.
So Arcana +2. So here we
Okay.
go.
Oh, yeah.
24.
Okay.
So 26.
So you can look at, and you can immediately start identifying how it works. What this is it's a copper tube, and there's a copper wiring in it, when it's flung, the tube runs down and creates a static charge. And there's some kind of weight when it hits the bottom. It creates like a flywheel that spins this copper wiring inside the staff head, and it creates some kind of charge.
Cool. I've used similar techniques in a lot of the stuff that I've made as well. I've seen this before, I'm sure.
So you can kind of conceive of some ways you could possibly upgrade it, but you would need a lot more time.
Yeah, I would need time and resources to upgrade this, but I mean, the possibilities are endless. What were you thinking?
He's like, I don't know. I just it's a field of our office, and when I hold it, I channel my it allows me to get into the right state of mind, if you will, to wield the powers.
I know exactly what you mean. I feel the same way when I'm inside of my armor.
Yes. He puts it back down, and he's like, well, hopefully I won't have to use it. And kind of nods for, a little bit. You notice he kind of...
I can put something like, harmless on it if you wanted to upgrade it slightly. Like if you wanted to put your name on it, wanted to like...
Looking for an infusion here.
No, I don't have any infusions to hand out. I mean, I could, if in a pinch, I could make it like a +1 weapon.
He's asking.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
He's like, at the moment, I don't have any infusions to pass out. I only got the 2.
He's a remarkable creature you are.
But yeah, but like sooner, hopefully along the way, I'll be able to pass out some infusions for sure.
Before heading to bed, Hanzo would pour out his bag and actually count out the gold and all the stuff that he got.
Okay.
No, I mean, I just want to be able to put it in my inventory and know how much there is. Like, I don't know how much there is right now. How many?
24 coppers. 17 silver pieces. And you have 7 gold left from what you gave to the...
Not bad, Paul.
Cool.
Perfect. All right.
Thank you.
So, and it's really conspicuous when you do this. You just kind of like empty your bag, and like all this like random junk like falls out, and like there's a bunch of coins and everything goes scattering across the table.
Well, it's just us because the guy went to bed already.
Right, he's just saying, but like everyone's looking at you like people are like, I'm pretty sure you were just carrying around with you before. Like,
this is normal.
How do you think we got those guys through the gates? We're just giving it back to them. This was some of the guards that they were taken from people, so we're just giving it back to them.
Yes, we all know what happened.
And I take the 7 gold that's left.
You still that.
And I put it in. And I'll put it in. The guy who's helping us out. What's his name? Yeah, I put it in his hand and close it.
What in there?
Gold.
How much?
7 gold.
7.
Okay.
It wasn't my gold really to take, so I mean, I'll just give it out.
Okay.
It's even better you're giving it to him because then he's gonna give it back to the guard as his dad.
Oh shit, you're right. I give it to the kid.
No, give it to him. It's good. He's gonna be our boatman. Fuck's sake.
He's completely passed out. He's pretty sodden. So he doesn't even wake up when you do that. I believe Hanzo, you had the last watch. On your watch, a big fog runs up the river and cloaks the whole river front in a pure
unnatural fog.
That doesn't seem to really unnatural, but it's notable. Otherwise, nothing really noteworthy happens during the night. Daigo wakes in the morning and he's obviously hurting from a little over drinking the night before. In fact, Erkin is feeling it too.
Nice.
The boy's obviously not feeling well and's got a headache. But Daigo's at least weathered that storm many times before. He wakes up and immediately starts grabbing some supplies and stuff, and he leads you down to the river, and there you see a modest, you'd almost call it more than a raft almost than a boat. Supposedly the fastest boat on the river. And he said, here she is. Yes, she may not look much, but she's fast when she needs to be. Well, sorry?
Does she have a name?
Yes, she does. It's Lissa. My first love. Anyways, a few more supplies and we'll be on the way. You guys ready for a run up the river?
No, I was hoping we would sail.
Oh, yeah, right. Cool. It does have a single sail on it. Once you guys get aboard, he says, if you wouldn't mind, he gives you a few instructions to help him get some stuff going, and he says, okay, you can help me man the tiller. And Urkin's pretty excited about this. And you set off up the river. You get, but you are going upriver, so it's slow going. At times, you actually have to row a little bit to make some headway. But after a while, you get through the more faster waters, and the river widens up, and it becomes a little more calmer, and you're able to get more wind and actually get up. There's a few ships on the river. You seem to pass. Daigo waves to some of the people as if he knows them. The river is glassy now. It's wide enough. It's probably 100 yards across. And you can see the bank here is a little more lush. The normal arid landscape is fed here by the waters, and you can see willows bending over the river and showering the waters. This first day seems to pass pretty quickly. When the night begins to fall, Daigo says, well, normally I would camp all along the bank here, but it's been pretty dangerous these days with the rebels. I'd rather we anchor mid-river and for security's sake, if you wouldn't mind.
Sleep on the water.
Yeah. I know it's a little risky, but that's less risky than staying on the bank and getting set upon by rebels. I'm sure you all could mind, take care of yourself, but I'm just
what
about
time
that.
of day is it? We sailed for a whole day?
Yep. By the way, can I have everyone eat a ration, please?
Yes, that's why I brought it.
And also, I'm going to have everyone roll a constitution check for me.
Check or save?
Save, you're right.
Okay. I'm better at those. Well, you are the expert in these matters, so I'll take your word. How rough is the river right now? Is it like rapids or a pretty calm flow?
Pretty calm here.
Okay. So, seems safe enough.
All right, very good. It's like with that, he kind of goes off to the side, so you're like, good 15 yards from the bank, but you're not in the middle of the waterway, so you have to worry about some blind ship coming down and taking you guys out. And he says, well, if you guys are going to do your guard thing, I guess I'll turn in. And you can see he has his jug kind of tucked under his arm. And there's like a small little tent at the back of the ship where he kind of slips in. Do you guys want to do watch again?
Yeah, I'll take first watch this time.
Okay, so this was a new day. All right, so what I will do is I'm gonna cast Aid again because it's a new day, and yeah, I'll take first watch and cast that.
Okay.
It'll be you and me first watch.
All right. Next person.
I'll go next.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm very comfortable out here. We're literally like sitting ducks.
I'll take last
Yeah.
watch.
Okay.
There's also Emilio.
Okay. Kofu, you're taking your watch, and you are kind of like just sitting on the bow, and just like Fonzo told you the day before, the mist comes up the river it kind of comes in off the ocean and goes up the river, and it's thicker now because as you've gone farther up the river, the hills have kind of like encroached in on the river, so you're kind of like in this channel going through the countryside, and it's thick to the point where you can't see the bank anymore, right? You're kind of like seeing this ship in the middle of this sea of fog, and
I'll send Draco up and see if he can get above the fog, and if he can't see anything, just to come back.
Okay. He goes up, and it's pretty thick. You get a little more, but it's more like you just get a little more yardage. It doesn't get clear up completely, and when you're kind of like in this sea of fog, it seems like your watch is kind of taking forever, and then you're kind of all of a sudden startled by this bumping sound against the side of the boat, like something knocking against the side.
Yeah, I'm gonna look around. Do I see? Is there anything in the water?
Yeah. So you kind of go to the edge, and you look over, and you see the shape come kind of like drift out of the mist, and just like boom, and then go past and float.
Oh, it's a body.
And then you hear another one, boom, and then you see boom, and then all of a sudden it's like doom, 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 and it's corpses coming down the river, and they're kind of.
I'm gonna start waking everybody up.
Okay.
Just quietly, I wake everybody up, and I say, "There's something ahead of us."
Okay.
I mean, there are bodies coming down river, and who knows where they're coming from.
Right.
Oh shit! I go to the front of the boat. I'm gonna do Eyes of the Grave again.
Okay.
Can I tell how fresh these corpses are?
You would have to like pull one out of the water.
Oh yeah, because like
don't
water
do
off. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. No.
Please don't do that. Any undead within 60 feet?
You don't. You don't see any undead here.
Okay.
These bodies look like just like what they are, but there must be hundreds of them. Like, and Dio, when he's roused, leaves his tent and comes to the nest, and he's still holding his jug, and he's kind of looking. He's blurry-eyed, and he goes, "This is the third time I've seen this. Every time I go up the river, that seems the last few times, I see them, hundreds of them, just floating down the river."
You know where they're coming from?
What?
No. I assume it's rebels or sick. I don't know why anyone would turn them into the river.
You don't find any kind of source, like whenever you're going upriver? You never get that far?
Well, there's bodies everywhere these days. I haven't heard any explanation, no.
Where do they all end up?
Sorry?
Where do they all end up?
Ocean.
No, the ocean, I think.
Stomach of a whale. Stomach of a shark.
All these corpses just floating through the center of Iglia.
I think that is happening.
where the disease comes
yeah.
from.
Message.
At that point, it's early morning here. The sun's beginning to rise, and none of you really feel like trying to get a few more hours of sleep. So you guys press on. Everyone, eat another ration, please. And I'm gonna have everyone make another Constitution save, please.
Good thing I brought all these ginger candies.
You're gonna be getting real sick of those.
No, they are healthy. Well, good for you. Con saves? I rolled a natural.
I got 2. I keep
Oh, I
forgetting.
am getting sick of them. Oh no.
Called it.
What
Okay.
happens? Am I exhausted?
No.
No. You.
All right, so you guys take on down the river, or up the river, and continue. Again, you are able to get some winds. There are a few moments where you have to go to the oars when the winds fail, but you are making steady progress. Dago says you're not far from. Assuming you're talking about the same place. The what he calls the Palace of the Suicide King. You continue for that day. You do pass a few small villages. A lot of them seem along the bank. A lot of them seem like they're completely abandoned at this point. You don't see much of any life in them. You're not even like a barking dog or some loose chickens or something like that. And you see actually less boats. There's less boats passing you on the river, and the ones you do see, you can kind of see the fear in their faces as they pass, and they give you nervous waves as they do. That night, Daigo says, "Well, this stretch of the road is a bit better. A stretch of the river. There's been less rebel attacks here. I reckon we can stay on the bank tonight."
Rather grown
more
accustomed
comfortable
to
with that.
sleeping on your boat.
I haven't.
I guess we could. Though there is some risk of, if a loose tree comes loose down the river and runs into us, it could cause us some trouble. It's worth the risk before, but I'm not sure.
Alright, well, let's go to the bank then. Keep the
Alright.
boat at ready.
So, and now the hills have kind of continued to grow as you guys go up, and so you're almost like in places going between in like a canyon. The river's going up like this canyon, and so between these large hills, you find a open space. Daigo says he's camped here before. It's on the edge of another field, and that night you guys make your camp. I'm not going to have you guys do camp checks because at this point I don't think you guys really need to. The weather's pretty fair and it's pretty easy, but you guys can do watch again if you would like.
Yeah, I think just.
Are we resting again? I guess another day.
Yeah.
Jeez.
3 days of boat travel.
Yep.
Long ways.
I mean, yeah, we'll always keep watch. I mean, there's any going to bed without someone keeping an eye out.
I will take the last watch this time.
It's like first this time. Haven't gone first yet.
Second.
I'll take first with you, Hanzo.
It's fair.
Okay. And then Amelia will take mid.
Should we use 2 rations so far or 3 rations now?
I think it should be 3.
Two. Well, we'll
Two?
put, I think now is 3.
Okay, now it's 3.
I think it was 2. Okay. This would be the 3rd because it's another evening.
Thought about more. It's gonna be 3 back 2, I'm sure.
Who's after Amelia?
I'll go.
I say I was last.
For last. Ain't first or last.
So you guys set camp. It's you guys are still kind of like shaking off the weird experience you had earlier that morning, and the morbid experience you had, and you were able to finally get some rest. That night, Hanzo, you just got this bad feeling, like ever since you saw those bodies. It's just kind of like it kind of like tickles your memory, and you can't help but think of the last job you did for the Order before you were kicked out of the Assassin's Guild, and involved you had to track down this wizard who was had been marked as a target. But in the process, you had come across this village, and it was suffering some kind of pestilence, its own plague. And you remember seeing one of the sick, and it just reminds you of the scene you saw outside the walls of the city, and they had this glazed over look and this kind of staring into nothingness. And you remember the wizard when you found him and you struck the death blow. He cursed your name and said you'd never be free of his hex. And you can't help but feel like all the stuff that's gone, all the bad events that you've had to deal with since have been somehow can be traced back to that. And so you finally fall asleep, drifting off, and you just seeing that poxed village. And lost Albie. I'm gonna give Albie a second to come back.
Does something happen on his watch?
I can still hear you. I have my AirPod in.
Okay. So on your watch, Arthas, again, the fog comes up the river and swells out over the bank and runs up and fills the field that's almost level with the river. And you're kind of lost staring into the campfire, looking at the embers. And you raise your head and look around, and you find the camp just enveloped in this thick broom of fog. And it takes a long moment, but before you see it, there's a subtle shifting in the mist. And then there's these little wraith-like shadows drifting by as if caught in a current, slow-moving current. It's people, and they're just like walking by in the fog either side of you, silently.
And I'm just standing there. We're at a campfire on the bank, right? And I'm just standing.
Yeah, you're in the fire, and you're basically just like sitting there, and then you kind of just notice that the fog's enveloped you, and then you start noticing these forms.
There's actually people walking.
Yeah, silently.
Remember what the boy said, or was it the boy that was telling us all of that? I think it was somebody told us about how then they were just that the people would just be like walking for no reason.
Right.
And so I realized very quickly that these are the sick.
And then one actually steps directly for your camp and like steps in the fire, and it's a woman. She must be in her 40s. She's got gray hair, and she's stripped naked, to her waist. Like she's lost most of her clothes. She doesn't even notice when she steps in the fire, and she just walks straight for camp and like continues on.
Yeah. None of them are walking towards or fixed on me or of anything, right?
None of they don't seem to even notice her there.
I think I know what I'm gonna do. Is the boy near me?
Yeah, curled up, not far. He's asleep in his blanket.
Okay. So I'm gonna go position myself by the boy to make sure that I'm near him, and by everybody else, I guess I will get down real low, and I will say to them, "Wake up."
All right. So you guys find yourself being shaken away in this thick bank of fog, and you kind of look around and you're not like, why are you waking us up? And then you notice there's these people just walking past silently in the fog, and they're all going in the same direction.
Well, they don't see that every day.
Yeah, are they heading toward or away from
They're going
the
down
castle?
right?
So we're going.
I have an idea. So, hold on, Grail. I had to go get these things out of the.
They're going away from the castle.
So they seem to come right out of the field, and they're heading towards the water.
Yeah. So Grail has this thing. He says very quietly to everyone after he wakes them, and he's like, when a parasite takes over an insect's body, it will send the insect. It'll make it go to the water, so it can reproduce. It's a parasite. It's the thing that it does so that it can stay alive. These people aren't sick.
Kick one.
Nature check?
Nature check for what exactly?
For my idea, because they're not acting like sick people. They're very strange, and they're all going to the water, and then all of a sudden, like, we're running into them in the water. You know, like there's something less, like, lower level thinking.
You can do a nature check. It's gonna be hard.
I know.
It's gonna be like 18.
Oh damn! Well, I rolled 10.
Not quite.
Okay.
So not quite. But I'm like, that's his thing. He's like, it's a parasite.
Start doing guidance on yourself, dude. You have guidance?
I do.
So you can tell, like, something's not. I mean, this is obviously not right. You never see anybody sick that's done something like this.
Exactly.
Obviously, there's something else going on here, and you guys get up and you kind of like follow them a little bit, and kind of like just trail them, and you can see, sure enough, they're getting to the water's edge, and they're just wading into the water, and then just drifting down the river.
Those people are not in control of their own bodies.
So they're using this as a method to spread, to infect the city?
I don't know. It's just a theory.
They're in the water source.
Grail's seen a lot of dead, and he's seen a lot of sick, and this is nothing like any of those.
Yeah, these bodies, if they are reproducing, they're in the water sources.
And they're just walking out from the field in just any general direction. It's not like they're just coming from a point, just from...
This came from across the field, and as a group, like a herd of them almost. And
there's another field of burnt corpses that are now walking over here.
They're not burned.
Well,
yeah. These ones are fresh. These are real people. These are fresh people. Okay, I say this. If you stop something like for example, a parasite or a predator or whatever, from getting its prey, you become the target of its attacks, right? Like you're getting in the way of a parasite, and he like stands up
Sure.
to one of them that's like walking by, and he
That's
stands
exactly
up
what I
and
was
he like gets in its way, and he like holds his hand out, and
And
he's like, "Wake up!" and he pushes him back.
and
I
it's
was gonna stab one.
the this one is looks like it's a middle-aged a man probably in his 30s, and he's tall and lanky. His eyes are glazed over, and you can see his cheeks are sunken, and he has this kind of distended belly, and there's like some kind of black ichor that's like leaking out the side of his mouth, and you push him, and he kind of just does like a little step back, like a jostle step, and he kind of tries to block through you almost, but he can't.
Nope.
And you keep pushing him back, and then he roll initiative.
Haha!
Just
God.
him or all of us?
He tries to bite your hand.
I guess all of you. Yeah, roll initiative.
Did it roll for me? Yes, it did. I rolled a 16.
That makes sense too, because I was gonna do something right after you. Like narratively, I was just gonna stab him in the back. And
So
Yeah, see, I wasn't going for the attack right away. I'm just trying to like prove a point.
if you
So-
did, I was like before that, and I was about to say I was gonna attack someone, and just like the
Yeah.
last one in the line, just so I can like make them open their mouth, check it out, see if
Yeah,
they do anything.
So we're gonna do this theater of mind. After a couple of things of pushing back, all of a sudden he like kind of makes this weird like guttural noise, and he like straight like lurches at you, and
Yep.
swings back like you're ready for it. So you just
Yep.
duck back, and it just catches air. And let's see.
Nice. What did I say? I told you.
Arthas, this is your turn.
Aha! You gotta bring me on map. Is there a map?
We're gonna do this theater of mind.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. All right, perfect. Well, then I will have to be more dramatic. So I have shield and mace, shield and Vickers cane out, and this thing as it's like trying to get at me, I'm blocking it with the shield and keeping it at bay, and then I just give it a ripe whack across the face with the Vickers cane, and so I'm just gonna roll to hit. And so everyone, the three of you rather, not everyone, the three of you should have the +5 to your max.
Still got that aid.
Cool. We're gonna whip out the Vickers cane. And that's a
I'll leave the ear music on.
Nice.
That's
17 to hit.
That's a hit.
Nice. So I kind of like keep it at bay and then whack right across the dome piece for a whopping 3 bludgeoning damage.
All right, so you crack it in the head, and you hear like the of his skull, and it
Yeah.
kind of staggers to the side, but then it turns, and when it does that, like you're at that kind of tail end of the herd as it goes in the water, and as it does that, it turns towards you, and the last two going in the water stop, and they both turn in unison and look at you and start coming at you as well. All right, it is.
This is gonna be really hard to do without a battle map. I need to like draw a picture.
That's what I started doing.
It's gonna be interesting. I mean,
We can
the
do this.
wave.
Oh yeah, no, like I just need it for myself. Okay.
I rolled a 13 for my initiative.
Yeah,
Currently, there are 3 of these things.
you're next. So it's your turn.
Cool. So seeing the one that Arth has pushed, and since I already kind of the plan to attack, I'm just going to go at him with my katana. I'm going to go around to the back side of him so I get that flank.
Okay.
20. Oh, I forgot to do sneak attack too. Hold on. Oh, fuck, terrible roll. 7 damage.
All right. It's the same one.
Yeah, the same one that Arthas
Okay.
is
So you come up and you do a slash across his back, and you like make a big slice into like what his kidneys are basically. And when you do that, it just cuts through the meat and like just like this slosh as like this.
intestines.
Yeah, his guts just pour out the back, and the smell is terrible. It's like it's horrible. And you look down and there's this pile of guts, and it's just swarming with these maggots.
Ew.
I hate that.
Okay.
All right. Then
So
I'm
we're-
going
So
to
Hanzo, you attacked the one that I attacked, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And like
So
the guts
we're-
fell out literally in front of you because I think it was probably facing you still. I cut into its side,
Yeah.
and then the guts fell out like right in front of you.
Gross.
How much
um,
damage did you do to him?
I only did 7. I rolled like the worst I could possibly roll my sneak attack.
It's all good. Any damage?
But then I'm going to disengage, and I probably only moved them. I was pretty close anyway. I'm assuming so. I'm like 5 feet away, 10 feet away. So I use the remainder 20 feet of my movement to like, again, theater of the mind, go away from the shore, like in that, like the other direction.
Away from the people.
Yeah, like the other direction of the people, like not towards the people, just like away from people. Because they're all by the shore, right? Because we attacked the last one, the 2 more were almost to the shore and turned around.
Right.
Right? Yeah, so I'm going more inland.
Okay.
And I'll stop there.
All right. Let's see. I think
We also
next.
have Emilio.
Yes, and I'm gonna use his passive perception. His passive.
And then there's the kid.
The kid's still like basically still waking up. He's like laying his blankets, and Daigo's kind of like rising up too. They're like,
Yeah.
and the kid immediately sees what's going on, and just like you can see like the horror in his face, like he doesn't know what to
Oh
do.
yeah,
He's like,
totally. That's why I like positioned myself by him to make sure.
mm-hmm.
Okay, very good. Okay, so after Grail was Hanzo. After Hanzo was who?
Let's see. It is. Let's see, I had a.
Zombo turn.
I think it's let's see. Let me see melee real quick. It's Amelia's turn. Amelia's gonna run up to the one you hit and like he's gonna try and hit it with his spear.
Okay, so Hanzo, Grail, and Emilio are all attacking the same one.
Right.
So he's
And
gonna have to get some kind of advantage on that.
okay, that's a good point.
Hanzo disengaged, I think, so there's definitely an open flanking spot behind him. I'm just
Exactly.
drawing a little battle map for myself.
I got you.
We do need the battle music, though. The eerie music is good, but the battle
Yeah, I like the Eerie because I thought it was going to be one guy until it switched.
No.
Emilio hits.
Nice.
All right. And Emilio just like rams his spear through the thing's gut, and it pops out the back of through the peasant's back, like it's full on pinioned, and it's just kind of like hanging on the spear, like trying to reach him, but it can't work its way up the shaft. So it's like kind of like reaching for his neck. It seems unconcerned with the obviously mortal wound that he suffered. All right, now it is Zach's turn.
Cool. I will go ahead and approach the same one I'm gonna aim for the head. That makes a difference. So we're gonna Thunder Gauntlets, Booming Blade. So I'll roll to hit first. I don't have advantage, right? Because we're not flanking.
You do have advantage.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna roll just in case we get that natural 20. You never know. Okay.
Close.
All right. So first, he's gonna take 10 thunder damage.
Okay. When that happens, his upper like shoulder and head just pop, and the arms are still flailing for a second, and then it just kind of slumps, and basically it's like this, ruptured corpse on the ground, and immediately like pulls a spear out and like, ugh. And the other two zombies move in.
All right. Where's the nearest one?
They're both by the riverbank. So they're like south of you.
Are they within 30 feet of me?
Oh, here we go. That's a beautiful map. Now we're talking.
Let's throw something together.
That was quick.
Damn, you did that? Yeah, that was really quick. Wow.
Can you give me a
It's like
token
doing that
for
while we're fighting.
Draco?
Damn DM skills. Oh, hold on. Let me just theater of the mind for like one round while I make a battle map. That's fucking amazing. Let's go.
That's wild, dude. I was like drawing
That
out
was
my own
really
back
well
here.
done.
Yeah,
Hell
like,
yeah.
dude, you don't even like want to see like look how fucking terrible. Look at this. It's like I had like a turn marker going, and like there was like movements, and like I don't know.
I mean, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You know, I was trying. I was like, I need something to keep track of all these zombies.
I'm just gonna command Draco to do his force strike on the closest one, which would be the one next to Amelia, let's say.
Okay. What we get?
Does 11 hit?
It's a hit.
All right, 6 damage. Be force damage.
All right. So it hits it like the peasant seems oblivious to this flying contraption, and it just hits it, and the force kind of makes it stagger to the side, and it slams into the other one, and then it kind of like turns towards it, and it's weird when it does that. The other one turns at the exact same time and looks at the homunculus, and the first one it hit kind of like swipes at it but misses, and then it's actually going to try and hit the homunculus.
Oh, so it's sorry. That's a ranged attack. So force strike is a ranged attack. So it's actually flying above them, probably.
Okay, that's fine. So they kind of look at it, and then it immediately turns back to Amelia. It's going to swing at Amelia. So,
They hive minding.
Something weird's going on here.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Where it has float zombies.
it batters at Amelia, but he quickly just like slaps its arms aside with his shield. While he's doing that, the other one grabs on his back though, and like it basically begins wrapping its arms around his neck.
the
And,
one that's in the middle of all of us is dead, right?
The one the first one is dead. Yeah. And then it like digs its nails into his neck and like rakes down his back, and he like shouts in pain. He took some damage. Annalise, it's your turn.
All right. Well, since we just kind of woke up, and we're probably still kind of crouched down since this all happened pretty quickly as far as aggression goes, I'm gonna kind of like take a sprinter's position, leaning on the shield, and run towards Emilio, who just took a big ol' hit. 30 will get me there. Kind of flashing one of the runes on the shields to activate the growth.
Okay.
starts kind of just growing as she gets a little bit farther and farther, and kind of tries to shove the sword into the zombie that's right here as we're passing through it, and give it a good old stab. Let's see. Since I'm doing it from its back, advantage on flanks.
That's a hit.
Double 14s. That is 4 plus 6. That'll be 11 damage. Trying to get at one of its legs because I saw what happened with the maggots, and I'm not trying to spill more guts. Just trying to disable it.
So like you just swing that thing and bury it, and you can feel it sink to the muscle and like hit against the bone. It doesn't seem, if it feels pain, it has no way it doesn't show it at all.
Damn.
So that was a total of 10, is that right?
11.
11. Okay.
And I am now large size, so technically you guys can get flanking on both of these guys.
Grail, it's your turn again.
These 4.
Walk over here. Going to cast Inflict Wounds at level 1 on this here creature.
Mhm.
And wait, how many of them are there right now? There's just 2?
It's just 2. All the rest are floating on the river right now.
Get
Okay,
rid
yeah,
of it.
let's do that. Let's just do that. Let's do it. So whip out the Vicar's cane and like hold it up and say like "foul thing that should not be," and just wham right across its face and or the back of its head. Inflict wounds with advantage, I guess. Right?
Yeah, you're flanking.
Second die. Oh, it was almost a natural 20. 13.
All right, that hits.
1. Come on, big money. Not bad. 16 necrotic damage. Hopefully
Okay.
necrotic actually does something to them. And I think that's my turn.
So you strike it with your cane. Where it strikes, the skin blackens and immediately it starts like desiccating, and like the part of its collarbone where it hit just kind of like folds in and like makes a hole where you hit it.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't seem to feel any pain.
Right. Huh? Still a lot of damage. And then for that's it. That's actually my turn. I don't have anything else to get to. Tis my turn.
All right. Next up is, I believe, if I remember this correctly,
It was after me goes on.
I think it's
Hanzo.
me, yeah.
Yep.
Cool. And do you play it, or do I get advantage on my ranged attack from here? Since there are 2 people around.
As long as the allies within 5 feet of the enemy.
I wasn't sure if you played that way as well. Cool. Then I am going to. Seeing that
I don't know if you'll get advantage. You would get your sneak attack though.
I will get my sneak attack, but I'm saying would I get advantage? Yeah.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Cool. So seeing exactly where I am, cutting into the guy, watching his guts fall out with the whatever they call the maggots all over it, whatever. I'm really grossed out by my sword, so I just drop it, immediately just pull out my short bow, and shoot the guy that's in the middle here.
This is actually it is advantage, but you're shooting through friendlies. It's gonna be a negative.
What you should do is move
partial
here
cover.
and just fire straight at this guy.
Oh yeah, I'll do that guy then. That's fine. Sorry, I didn't know that was gonna be type of thing covered. So yeah, I'll then move then, I guess.
Yeah, I would move up. Yeah. Cool. There you go.
Up here, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll shoot at this guy.
Makes sense.
Shit roll though, 12.
That hits.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, it's like no AC.
11 AC. Yeah.
Cool, and does 13 damage. Just arrows. That's his body.
All right. That one, you go straight through its neck, and like it kind of does like a little squealing sound, and then it just collapses.
Oh yeah, cool.
And it's kind of convulsing on the ground right now.
Weird. And I'm going to then finish out my movement. That was 10 feet. I'll go 15, 20, and dive into the bush.
All right.
And hide.
Fucking
And
Rose.
then
I'll use
I
my
believe,
cunning action to hide.
nice. I believe next up is Amelia. And he has advantage. Okay. The zombie turns towards him and flails, and he easily ducks a swipe and just comes up with like a backhanded uppercut with his shield, and just like decks it in the bottom of the chin, and it kind of staggers back, almost losing balance. And then, who is next? I believe it is Zek.
Cool. So I will. Let's see. I'm just gonna Booming Blade, Thunder Gauntlet.
Okay.
So we'll do that in here. Oof. And does a 9 hit?
9 hits.
Damn.
He's
AC
gonna take
9.
7 thunder damage. And
Okay.
he's gonna have disadvantage on all attacks against anyone other than me. And
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and step away here, so he would get an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
BC 18.
With
He hits.
Okay.
All right. So as you like step away, it all of a sudden, with surprising dexterity, it reaches out and just grabs your shoulder and pulls you in, and it lifts you off your. Oh, actually, you're in armor form, right? So it pulls you in, and like it opens its jaws, and it's like growling at you, and then you see these like mandibles come out from either side of its mouth, like they protrude, and it like bites down into your armor. Luckily, your armor takes most of it, but you do take 3 damage.
Cool.
Did you say mandibles?
Mandibles.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and tell Draco to force strike him again. So another little crackling beam of energy comes down.
Okay.
It comes out of his scorpion tail, just in case you were wondering.
The sting.
You can take another 4 damage.
Okay. It strikes it, and it doesn't kill it, but it's enough that it lets you go when it hits it, and it takes a chunk out of its shoulder, but it turns you loose. Annalise, I believe it's your turn.
Alright, well, after seeing it kind of take a chunk out of Kofa, I'm just going to try to swipe at its outreached hands and cut it off. Just a quick little hacha.
All right.
And that's a 21.
That's a hit.
Be 11. 4, 15.
All right. You just sever it at the elbows, and it hisses, and it turns towards you like it's trying to grab you with its missing arms, and you can see like these little chitinous legs sticking out from either side of his rib cage. Makes you think of swollen tick. And it steps forward towards you. You can see the mandibles clacking as it comes towards you, and then it just collapses face first on the ground, and it's motionless.
Well, that was disgusting. Are you
Fascinating.
okay?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. That was honestly thrilling. That was amazing.
Daigo immediately hear him say in the back, I should have asked for more money.
Perhaps.
Maybe we should have asked for more money.
Also, perhaps.
Also, don't you still owe us money?
You talking Daigo?
I'm gonna go
And
over
Covenant
to those bodies and make sure they're dead. Can I?
Yeah. Yeah. You want to do
That's
like
awesome.
do a medicine check?
Yeah.
No, I kind of
No,
want to
we
just
can't
like
do
hit
this.
them a few times
All right.
Yeah,
with the
just-
stick. Like,
So you kind of like prod him with the butt of
Yeah.
the tip of your vicar's cane a little bit, and they don't seem to be moving. And the skin is like spongy and soft, and you can even where they hit, you can see like the maggots like wriggling in the dirt.
yes. This
There's
is
your answer.
disgusting.
You said the tick. You said it was like.
Have I seen
how
anything
big-
like this before, Jesse? I mean, I know what they are, but have I seen anything like this before?
Anything like this.
Grail's never seen anything like it before. I've never seen anything like this before.
Have I read about anything like this before? Any
No.
of my studies? No.
No.
Pains me because my other character knows what it is.
Do these maggots look like typical like fly maggots, or are they like some kind of weird just small insect thing that we don't know?
Take away.
You can do nature check.
Yes. No.
Oh,
Oh shit!
damn.
Check out the smarts.
I don't know shit.
Austin, you don't. Hanzo, you kind of look at them and they look like maggots. You know, not
Gross.
typical ones, but Zach, you pick up. Well, I guess you don't pick up, but you squat down next to him and you look and you kind of like. It's almost like I imagine your armor has like a little bit of like a lens in it, right? And you kind of like zoom in on them a little bit, and you can see like you zoom on one wriggling in the mud, and it's like this little faintly lime green maggot, and it has as you looking closely, you can see it has little mandibles on it, and like these little tick-like legs running down the side.
what do you see?
That's not a fly maggot.
Gross.
What do you see, Kofu?
I say they're multiplying
In the water?
before they even get to the water.
Oh,
I said these are
Well.
not your ordinary maggot. This is something far more interesting.
remind me to not drink the water in Iclia next time we go.
Do you have a
Better
jar?
Stick to the wine.
Does anyone have like a glass jar?
Not
Um,
exactly.
When you say that, you see Daigo in the back, and he kind of looks down at the jug in his hand, and he just kind of sticks it behind his back.
Yep. It's
Um,
okay. We would
yeah,
need a top on it. Don't worry about it.
yeah, exactly.
I would
Have a flask of
probably
oil.
want to burn the bodies.
I
That's
would
gonna
agree.
Take
I
a
would agree.
torch, and I'm gonna go around with fire.
Okay.
Would a flask of oil be like a clear, like? Could it be like a clear vial jar thing?
You could put it in the flask of oil. It wouldn't be clear though.
Huh?
It wouldn't be clear. It'd be like a flask of oil.
What
Probably
kind
Like,
of-
if I empty the flask like of oil,
I
I put-
mean,
can
there's some
I
like
fit
good
one
oils
of
out
these
there,
in
Jesse.
It'd probably be like
Why do we want to keep it? I mean, it's
No, you don't want to keep the. Don't.
I'm
keep
thinking it might be a good idea to keep one because maybe if you find someone who knows more about these than we do.
I think that this is pretty widespread, and if someone needed to get a sample, it wouldn't be as hard as you think.
Right, but
Yeah,
I think
there's
if
like-
we knew
like,
that these things were
if
common.
this is No, but
Yeah,
if
we
this
would've
is
heard
what's
about that
been
by now.
going on like everywhere, like if all of these bodies that we've been talking about for like how long this has been going on, like the plague, like if this is what it is, then like having a single one is probably more a problem. Like we should.
But
know
I'm
that.
saying, if we've heard about this and we haven't heard that it's some kind of not a plague, but more of an infection or more like an infestation.
Infestation. Yeah.
Yeah, so we haven't heard that yet. We don't. So it sounds to me like people don't even know that this is what's causing it. They just know that the disease is happening.
That's
Here's our
exactly
potential
right.
proof.
Do I know about
the actual cause?
Do I know about any other places in the Empire that have experienced this?
You know that the year before, there was the plague started in Exos, and then it was supposedly heard that it was under control in Exos, which is to the south. But supposedly this year the plague has spread worse than it was before, and it's now affecting Exos again and Iclea now.
Well, let's think about it this way. What we're after, and look at the Zygotantheon here, has to do with healing, right? So maybe the sooner we get the thing we're looking for, the sooner we can fix this problem with the plague.
Take one thing at a time. This seems a bit bigger than our mission at the moment.
Right, but, well,
I think
if what they say is true.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Just saying, if what they say is true about the
Yeah.
orb.
Yeah, I think that they could be intertwined.
And not to seem too dour, it does seem to be worse the farther upriver we go, so we may just run into it.
Well, at least we know that they will. Well, so far they'll only fight us if we get in their way, but we also don't want more of them polluting the water. So,
There's nothing we can do about that right now.
How do we
Right.
get the message out that the lost are long gone before they leave? I mean, that's something that we'll need to spread. I mean, that's important news.
Daigo, do you have a way to getting word back to Iclea?
Take my boat, but I'm just an old drunk. I don't know if anyone will listen to me.
Old drunks
Right,
can
but
still
they would
deliver
listen.
messages.
they
And we
would
need you
listen
to
to
stay.
Vathis, and you owe Vathis money, which
We
means
also
you
need
can
him to
get
stay. That's our way
Vathis.
home.
What's his name? Sorry,
Commander Vernon.
Vernon. Okay, well, you could get an audience with him easily and tell him of this situation. But
He's also our way
to
home. though.
Hanzo's point, he's our way home.
Yeah,
I don't think
Yeah.
he should be leaving.
yeah. I'm an old drunk with debts. I mean,
And you get your debt canceled on
How
our
far
safe
are we?
return.
From where we're trying to be.
I hope so. I gotta get something out of this.
On
We're
our
3 days-
return, you get paid.
Oh, even better. Makes me
I
feel
mean,
a
not
little.
paid. I'm sorry. Your debt is paid
Oh,
upon our return.
yeah, right. It's all for the debt. It's worth it.
Yeah, debt is
Definitely
not
worth
forgiven
it.
yet.
Plus
Ah.
the stories. Imagine you'll have the adventures that you could tell to all the
No.
ladies that you'll upset.
Yeah, I don't know if these stories are kind to woo a lady with, but I say we get back to the ship. I don't know which is better, the water or the ground, but I feel safe on my ship.
Sure. How far are we from where we need to be?
We should be able to get in sight with it within the day, I believe.
By boat, but what about by foot?
It'll take longer. I don't know if there's a clear path to the hills here. It's much more like we've seen. We head up through more of a canyon than a valley. And the hills become more like mountains. Small ones maybe, but not easy to scale.
Well, then I guess we're going by boat.
Continue.
All right, you guys quickly pack up your things, get on a boat, and again, it's an early morning, and you head up the river. The day's rather peaceful. You see a couple more ships maybe pass, but it's a pleasant day.
We're doing the nervous wave this time.
It's the sun's out. You get cool breeze going down the river, and here the hills around the river become more like a canyon, even, and you begin going down this kind of almost sheer cliffed sides, rocky cragged, and maybe just before noon, you make a bend in the river, and you see this one high cliffside, and Daigo says, "There it is, Suicide King's Palace." And you can see at the top of this cliffside, kind of almost most of the way up the cliffside, there's this old, what must have been once a very fine building, but you can kind of make some details. It's definitely not big enough to be a palace. It's considerably too small for something like that. Maybe it could be a library, at least a temple of some sort. But
is it built into or on the mountain? Like, is it carved out of the mountain itself?
it's like there's a shelf in the cliff side, and it seems like a pretty natural formation, but it looks like the temple is, or the building is built into the cliffside, like the back of it extends into the mountain a little bit.
Like,
Would it
it's bigger
be-
on the inside than we can see?
Is it in any way similar to like the Temple of Mount Manu? In any way?
No, there's a different style of architecture there. It doesn't look like Ziff built. So it looks like a more antiquated style of Nacretian Adonan architecture.
Hanzo
And
says,
go
"All
ahead.
right, boy, you're up." And motions over to what's his name?
Ecker.
Erkin.
Erkin's been obviously on edge since this morning. He doesn't, any of the kind of safety he felt around you before is kind of diminished, and but he
He
seems
just
eager
killed
to.
3 of these zombie dudes in front of him.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
there's
I think that's why. I think that's exactly why.
and
Attacked us.
he says, yeah, the path should be here. I know I can find it. And he kind of like gets the edge, and he goes. You spend maybe 20 more minutes going to the river, and all of a sudden he says, "There," and he points to this overgrown path. You would have missed it, like if you'd not seen it. And it's on the bank, and you guys pull up to it, and when you do, you hear the ship bump, and there's actually like a footing to what must have been a dock. It's overgrown. It's made of stone. At the time, it was fine workmanship. But and then as you step out, you can look and see that it kind of circles around the base of this mountain. And he says, "It's this way." Everyone, I'm gonna have everyone eat a ration now.
That's my last one.
Eat a Snickers.
Arthas, you have a level of exhaustion.
I do.
You do.
I'm tired. It's my old bones.
Daigo says, "Tell him about it. I feel it every year, a little bit worse."
That's
And he
because you
says-
drink. I don't drink. Fool.
"Oh, I guess that could be part of it, yeah." And he takes another drink out of a jug. He's like,
see that
I
Kofu
think it
is,
makes me
like-
stronger. And then he says, all right, well, here you go. I'll be turning, and now it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, no, you're not leaving us here. You're going to stay.
Yes, go anchor out in the middle.
I'm going to leave. I'll stay
If we're
right
out
here.
here when we get back, there's no debt repaid.
All right.
And we'll come find you.
I'll stay right here.
Actually, I have a better idea. Why don't you come with us? Just anchor your boat, and then you can just come with us.
Deal. I take you up the river. I'm the boatman. It's the
He's
river.
here with her.
Lean over to Annalise. Why do I get the feeling this man is going to turn tail as soon as he drops us off?
Won't be the first one, I'm sure.
So I hope that's not the case. Out loud.
But also, then he never gets his debt paid.
Yeah, but
And
then
we-
he could also just continue hiding like a coward that he is.
And we know, and
Yeah.
we know where he lives. So
I didn't get the feeling he was hiding. I just got the feeling he was drunk.
yeah, it's his house too, right?
Yeah, we know
where he
everyone
lives.
knows where to find him.
Yeah.
All right. Fine. But if he leaves, I'm saying I told you so.
Again, that's fine. Can I have a ginger?
Yes. Take one.
All right, so you guys grab your supplies, head up the road. Like I said, it's obviously not been used much. It's overgrown. You can see as you pass little things of obvious at one time it was well used. You can see old markers along the road. You occasionally see broken columns, Corinthian columns, and you get a little bit around the backside, and Erkin stops and he points at where the road turns off, and it heads up. It's steeply up this narrow path going up this side of the mountain. He goes, he's like, that's the road. I've never gone past this part. He says, should I go with you?
No, we can take it from here. Go back to the boat.
We
He-
need
he-
someone to,
But if the
we need
boat's
someone to
not there,
protect- We need someone to protect Dago.
yes.
he seems obviously relieved. Like you see, like he lets out a breath. He goes, "Yes, I'll stay with Daigo.
You have your knife, yes?
Yes, I have it." You see him reach down and to his waist where it's tucked in.
Keep it
So
tight.
you're more of a man than this guy is. So keep him safe.
He says,
It's a little guy.
he runs a few steps back and he stops and looks back. He's like, "You're coming back, right?"
Of course.
That's the
Promise.
plan.
Good. And then he continues running off down the road.
Send
Uh,
Dracorpian with him just to make sure that he gets back, so that we know he gets back.
What's the range on that?
It's whatever, as long as he's alive. I mean, his speed is 30 feet, fly speed.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
he
you
can-
keep it in range, right?
Yeah, I could even like send him to go deliver something if we wanted to.
Okay.
So he's,
They're like
he's
a-
gonna follow him back to
familiar,
the
right?
shore and then come right back. What was that?
So, you guys
It's kind
start
of like a
the hill.
familiar, right?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, one more time, Austin.
So it's kind of like a familiar, right? Like it's
Exactly,
kind of
yeah.
like it's its own entity. Like it can do whatever it wants.
It's very similar.
So it traces him flying above the treetops. You can see the boy running down the road, and then you can see Daigo's actually still there. He's at the water's edge, drinking from his jug and kind of twirling his fingers nervously on the gunwale of his boat. But the boy makes it, and you guys look up the mountainside, and it doesn't look very hospitable. It's craggy, and the soil's kind of a little bit muddy, and it's like this part of the mountain drains a little bit, and you head up and you quickly start gaining some altitude, and you can look out and it's the sun's still high. It's like it's in the afternoon now, and you've gained quite a bit of altitude. You can look out and you can see what looks like a swamp to the north of the mountain, and then in the distance you can see just this cluster of buildings in the distance in the haze, and that must be Naylor in the distance. And you turn and head up the hill, and we're gonna stop right there, guys, for today.
Getting
Cool.
close.
It's gonna be session.
Close.
Yeah.
Oh,
Didn't get to as many combats, but that's where it goes.
It's all
And
good. Just for the moment, just to appreciate the scene of the little boy leading us up this path. We're all walking, and we
Right.
left a drunk on a boat.
That sounds
Pretty
sounds
cool.
about right.
Pretty cool.
thanks everyone for tuning in. Catch us next time.
Yes.
Should be 2 weeks. Wednesday, hopefully, 7:30.
Ooh-wee. Thursday? Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Oh, we indeed.
Wednesday.
Thanks.
All right.
Jason.
Yes,
Word.
until then. Boom.